The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about. Yes,
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is Monday, June 21st, 2021, years after zero, and today's show is massive. We can't thank you enough for joining us wherever the hell you may be, whether it's on Sirius XM Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio, or at youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. We appreciate you so much. This is our last week before we are off for a week. And by week, I mean we're off on this Friday as well because we'll be traveling. One of us is getting married this weekend at Ty Schmidt.
Here we go.
Congrats. We're pumped
Thank
for
you.
you. Can't wait to get up there at Boston Connors here as well. We're going back to the Revolution region, pal, this weekend. So we'll be here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Then we're off Friday, Ty's big day. And then we're off that next week. And we'll be back after the 4th of July. We can't wait for it. So we figured, hey, to say thank you to everybody that has watched along and listened alongside of us chatting into these microphones for a long time, since the last time we had any real time off around here, gearing up, by the way, for a massive football season. Yeah, I thought about that on the plane last night. I was like, okay, so we got hashtag PMS 100K giveaway week, okay, coming up. $100,000 will be given away over the next 4 days whenever you listen to this show. Now, there are going to watch this show. There are going to be tips and clues that pop on the screen. There's going to be different ways to give away things. Not only will it be $25,000 today, $25,000 Tuesday, $25,000 Wednesday, $25,000 Thursday, but there'll also be hilarious little side item prizes for somebody who maybe was close to winning but wasn't, the official winner. For instance, today, we're giving away a golf cart. So one person won a golf cart, one person will win $25,000 today. You will learn how to win that via youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. It'll pop up on the screen sometime in the next 3 hours or so, and we can't thank you enough for rocking with us. But after a 100K giveaway week and a marriage week, and then the off week, right around the corner, football season.
Here we go.
I mean, I am fucking excited to be alive. I am thankful to be in this world that we're living in right now, and I can't wait for the rest of this week to give away a bunch of money and a bunch of cool things. I can't wait to get up to your guys' part of the world. Actually, sorry, Connor, your part of the world.
Hell yeah.
I can't wait for everything. I'm pumped up. And last night, Hell in a Cell was a fucking blast, boys.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was a good time. I got a chance to, really sell the fact that I might win an ESPY.
That's
Good
right.
chance.
Have we even...
Crash the site.
Allegedly, now you guys are telling me this, not me, because I can't hop on my
we couldn't
phone.
vote.
Allegedly, immediately after the announcement of, hey, please, would be pretty cool to win an ESPY. Because you got to remember that ESPY moment. It all started right here. What did we do? We extended an olive branch to scumbag Adam Cole. Hey, we're in quarantine. Everybody's locked down. Let's put our... let bygones be bygones.
Right.
Let's move along.
Come together.
He was going to be in town for his family. Something was happening. He was here. I said, hey, you know what? You're in town. Hey, be safe, obviously. We're all in the thing. Come on down. Let's chat. He comes in here. We talk. He loses his shit, breaks a microphone or two, a table, a chair, yells in my face. By the way, COVID.
Yeah.
What are we even thinking? Then he pushes a guy with colitis, Ty, out of here, which leads to an entire thing that leads to me kicking his soul out of his body while his hero, Shawn Michaels and Triple H, are trying to bring life back into his body afterwards, after I get kicked out of there. That's up for an ESPY. That would be hysterical.
Yeah.
That would be absolutely hysterical. Calling a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, by the way, hysterical. It is a very dumb life we're all living, and I can't thank everybody enough. Last night was fucking wild, though.
Well, I mean, look there. People are just
pretty sweet.
couldn't shut up.
Hey, I didn't even see this. Yeah. Hey, listen. This is a joke. All right. This is a glitch in the simulation. This is a goddamn joke. It has to be. Nothing on Twitter is like this. Okay, I live on Twitter. I am a person that spends a large amount of time on Twitter. I've tried to dabble in the other social media platforms. Okay, obviously YouTube. Every single day we're here. We appreciate YouTube, folks.
Thank you, YouTube.
Love YouTube. Great community. Really cool people. I wish I would have started that long ago, to be honest with you. But I focused on Twitter for a long, long time. Tried to get in TikTok last week due to somebody potentially asking whether or not I could do it or not.
Sure.
And I said, fuck you. I could do it without doing the whole song and dance too. I could do it.
Yeah.
There's no chance I do that.
You're done already.
There's no chance I do it. As soon as I click on that app, it's just Mitt's face yelling at me.
Yeah, true.
Okay, literally as soon as I click on that. And then to do the whole thing, I appreciate TikTok over there. I think the camera is unbelievable. Obviously, they have a group of people on there that are incredible and very positive. It seemed like an awesome place. But I spend all my time out of habit and out of I think I enjoy it the most on Twitter. For these moments to happen where people are like, hey, they enjoy what you're doing here. It's like my people on Twitter. I appreciate that. I have loved the interactions on Twitter. It was a cool night, man. The internet wrestling community is this group of people on the internet, okay? And they feel like they potentially have a monopoly on being a wrestling fan.
Sure.
Okay? This is, if you're not an actual wrestling fan, unless you tweet in our circles alongside us and normally bury everything. Everything's terrible because we're smarter than everybody. That's kind of the internet wrestling community. Now, I have respect for the internet wrestling community because their passion for professional wrestling is something that every single company, business, anything hopes for out of their fans, okay? They're a very passionate bunch. They absolutely love wrestling, okay? They have their entire lives. But at this point, I feel like a lot of them have potentially gotten jaded because a lot of others that they follow on there are pointing out all the negatives. So they become like the harshest group of fans maybe that I've ever encountered. I feel like I've done some things now. I've gotten a chance to do a lot of stuff. The wrestling fans, harshest group to get in with, all right? But I knew that because I was on Twitter a lot, and I was also following a lot of people in the wrestling community because I've been a fan of the wrestling community. So I kind of knew what to expect going in. I'm like, okay, these people are going to hate me. Normally in the past, whenever an outsider goes in to do a wrestling match, that person's the baby face, okay? The good guy. And it's because they're promoting whatever, they're the good person. Very quickly into the conversation to even potentially lead to any of this stuff, everybody was on the same page, including me. I'm the fucking bad guy.
Yeah.
And they were like, there was a couple people, not the really high up people, but there was a couple people that were like, no, because the bad guy drives conversation. Bad guy drives match, basically, because bad guy beats up good guy, right? That's just how it goes. And also, you're going against big bad guy.
Yeah.
Big bad guy or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, but the conversations I was having, and this is before any conversation up top happens, high level happens. I'm like, you know how this wrestling community is going to be? Okay, I'm coming in, I'm getting an opportunity that all these other wrestlers that were in, literally busting their asses in bingo halls and gymnasiums and all over the world. I'm taking one of their spots. I'm also a fan that's getting a chance to do something that everybody has dreamed of. I mean, I'm the bad guy here. I am clearly the bad guy. And by the way, okay with being the bad guy because I knew exactly what to. So it's very cool to know that you're probably going to be bashed by a community when you go in there because you're new, you're taking one of their favorite person's, spots, or maybe this happens with everybody. This happens, wrestlers, commentators, even interview people, like kickoff panels. This happens in the wrestling world a lot. So to see a lot of love from the internet wrestling community last night, it was very nice. I appreciate you all. I feel like I've tried my best to prove I know what the fuck I'm talking about a little bit. I don't know anywhere near the amount that a lot of you do and everybody else in the business does, but I appreciate the love last night, and I agree, me and Michael Cole fucking killed it.
That's right.
Now, with that being said, it's because the matches are awesome. We're only as good as what you're talking about, but me sitting next to Michael Cole, I am so lucky. Hey, this motherfucker is so good, dude.
Yeah, he is.
He is a Rolodex of information at all times. Anything I say, it feels like he's in my brain with me. Like he understands either where I'm going or what I'm headed. Last night, he mispronounced counter at one point. That was a fun time. Yeah, that happened in the middle of a match, but he's the greatest. I'm literally set up with like 5 parachutes. I'm having a great time. It's but I appreciate it. I'm enjoying the hell out of it. I'm a little tired. I was down there.
Long weekend.
Yeah, since Thursday. The boys all, including Foxy, went back home for Father's Day weekend. Enjoy it. So I was down in Tampa all by myself. Didn't want to board the dogs, this weekend, and then also all next week, or put them in their pet palace, or have family stay at the house, or whatever we're going to do, because it's 7 animals, so it's a lot of things. So Sam wasn't able to make it because we're leaving next week. So I was just down there by myself. A lot of me and my thoughts.
Ooh. Sure.
All right, that was fun. Played some music.
Yeah.
Played some music.
Okay, pool.
Yeah, there was a pool. I sat outside by the pool. I did DoorDash by myself.
Wow.
Nice. Hey, here we go.
Let's go. What'd you get?
What'd you get?
It turns out delivery issues. Hey, rolling blackouts in the deliveries.
Yeah, it's tough right now.
Yeah, I actually had to go pick up my food at 7-Eleven, but I did order a DoorDash thing that came 4 hours later.
Okay.
Yikes.
Because I guess the delivery app was out for DoorDash. I don't know if that was Friday night, maybe, I think it had to have been maybe Saturday night. I'm not sure which night it was, when I was kind of outside by the pool waiting for myself. I ordered something, and then it basically said my order was canceled and there was no people to pick it up. Then 2.5 hours later, I didn't even notice, they found a Dasher for me, and then it showed up like 3.5 hours later, and the driver, Joshua, sent me a text and said, your food's been sitting here for 2.5 hours. They said they will not remake it. I was like, that's cool, bring it on over. So it's 4 hours late when there's some in the fridge, or some, that's going to be bad by the time we get back down there. But it was nice to kind of have my own little time down there. Don't love it, obviously. Got lonely at times. Just smoked a massive amount of dope down there whenever that happened. But I went golfing on Saturday.
How was it?
Okay, so, I text Coach Shipley,
Of course.
Super Bowl champion in Tampa Bay.
The gatekeeper down there.
Okay, Thursday night or Friday morning. I don't remember when it was. I texted him. I said, hey, I think I'm going to be alone on Saturday. Is there any golf courses or anything I can just go hit up, spend some time? I was thinking, just go golf by myself, play some music, chill, have a great time, you know what I mean? He was like, yeah, let me go ahead, and because AQ loves golf and he's been down there and won a Super Bowl. So he connects me with some guy, Big Mitch. Okay.
Ooh.
So Big Mitch, myself, and AQ are on a group text, and this is like 5 minutes before the show on Friday. Okay, Big Mitch then, while the show's happening, puts me in a group text with Big Dan.
Oh, Danny.
Okay, this is at about 1:30, 1:45-ish, they connect. Big Dan then puts me into a group text with Maddie. Okay, and that's like 2 o'clock. And by the time our show ended on Friday, 3:05, 3:10, 3:15, I had a tea time set Saturday morning, 9 a.m.
Okay.
Nice.
From Maddie via Big Dan and Big Mitch, all from an AQ call. It was very nice. People were like, AQ calls somebody, hey, he needs to get on a course. They're like, all right, got him, bam, boom. Incredibly hospitable by Big Mitch, Big Dan, who I still have yet to talk to or meet, but they were just part of a kind of a chain reaction. Yeah,
right.
A text message saying, I appreciate them. Maddie, cool guy. I say there's no way in fucking hell though I'm golfing 9 a.m. All right?
Fair.
No chance.
No way. I drink a Celsius right before Friday Night SmackDown. We got Roman and Rey Mysterio in a Hell in a Cell. I'm not sleeping until probably 2:30, 3 a.m. maybe. There's no way I'm up to golf at 9 a.m. or whatever. So I say, I'm so sorry. And with all the transactions, I'm like, I'm not golfing with these people. All right? This is my first weekend alone. I'm not signing up to go golf with fucking Big Mitch.
Three
Big
guys
Dan.
you don't know.
I don't know who these people are or whatever. And Maddie responded me in a private text, and he was like, hey, what time you want to golf? At 9 a.m. too early? You have something going on or whatever? He's like, I said, I think I can make it in the afternoon, but I'm not 100% sure. He's like, all right, cool, 1 o'clock, you're coming. Basically, he was like, you're coming. And I never, ever do this. This is something I would never in a million years do. But I'm like, literally, I'm not just sitting here by myself all day.
Right.
And I don't think there was, other than the golf tourney, which only got electric on Sunday, I guess.
Yeah.
There's really nothing for me to do. So I go gate for a gate. You hear me? There's a gate for a gate. We go back, long drive all the way back deep into this beautiful golf course. Absolutely gorgeous golf course. I drive in, I park my car, I get up there. They say, who are you here to meet? I say, Maddie? They go, oh, he's in the back, way back or whatever. I'm like, cool, I need to buy some clothes here though. I don't have any clothes. So I was looking for a shirt, shorts, needed a hat. And then Maddie comes in, shakes my hand. I go, cool, which cart is ours? No cart, we're walking.
What?
Well, I'm gonna need some
Gosh.
golf. We are, he was like, yeah, what, do you want a cart? He like asked me, do you want a cart? And I was like, is that something? He was like, we can get you a cart if you need a cart, but this is like a walking course or whatever. And I'm like, okay, cool. I've only done this one other time in my life. I was forced to do it then. Okay, this is kind of like one of those, feels like I'm not forced to do this. I can leave, but okay, I'll do this. We're going to have a day here. So I get these incredible shoes, great G4 hat, G-4FORE, great brand. We should think about it, actually.
okay.
They have great hats. It seemed like good shoes, I think, this entire thing.
Write that down, Bruce.
Probably very expensive, but Bruce or Phil should write that down. We should potentially do something with them. So I get this whole thing. We go out there. Rondé Barber's golfing in the group.
Really?
Yeah, me, Rondé Barber, a guy who owns a bank, great guy,
Okay.
named Paul, good guy, and then Matty. And we went out there. We had 4 caddies. My guy Tony, fucking top of the line.
Ooh.
Tony's been there 20 years, 15 years, knows that course inside and out. He knows every single one of those 147 sand traps. 7-mile course. I walked every foot of them. 5,280 feet in a mile. I walked every single one of them 7 times on this golf course. Had the time of my life. I had a blast. Rondé Barber, one of the coolest dudes I've never met before. He was awesome. I mean, we were having a good time. There's music. There was nobody else out on the course. I guess not a lot of people golf in the afternoon in Tampa in the middle of summer. It was 110 degrees.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, I sweat a lot. I was hot as balls out there walking around. Rondé Barber, awesome. Paul, awesome. Matty, awesome. I met the guy, I think, that created the Bloomin' Onion, maybe.
Get out
What?
of town.
Yeah, I think so. I was like, hey, good course.
Gold hands.
It was awesome, dude. Place was the coolest place I've ever been, I think.
How'd you play?
Yeah. How are we looking with the
I
20
got
million?
birdie, you know,
I mean, this isn't your local muni. I assume tough course.
So
you know.
what I've learned is the people that are members there like enjoy golf, but they also like the seclusion, I think, of the place. So it has to be a course that they can play on a regular basis that they don't just get bored of. So I think it's a pretty fucking
It needs
tough.
to be challenging.
Yeah.
It is a tough course, I think. Rondé's a hell of a player. I mean, a hell of a player. He was playing, and he was having a good time too. It wasn't like, hey, boring golf Rondé. It was like, hey, music playing, having a good time. Paul, the guy, great golfer. Matt, they were all very good golfers, you know. But I think I kept up. I mean, I definitely lost out of everybody, but I didn't like slow down. And that was my first time on the course.
I was going to say, everyone else has played the course, so it's a little different for them versus...
I got them to pop a couple times early when I told them, you know, I've been hitting the backyard. Let's hope the mat translates to the grass. You know, good golf.
Good golf joke.
Yeah, good golf
Yeah.
joke. We'll see, you know.
Did you play better than you thought you would?
Yeah, I played pretty good. And I think when you walk, by the way, you don't want to just go zigzag through the entire course because that 7 miles becomes 14.
Yeah.
So I think you like dial it in a little bit. And Tony, my fucking caddy, he eliminated a club from the bag after 2 bad shots with the club. He said, we don't need the 4.
Wow.
Puts it in there.
That good?
Yeah, he was good. So then the next one probably would have been a 4, and he just brings out the 5. He's like, here you go. It might take 2, but swing at it, that thing. He gave me like golf lessons through the day. I mean, it was I feel like I might have played really good golf for the first time ever being out. I shot under 100 by a good bit.
There you go.
They kept score. I did have to pick up, and there was a big number on that. But it was like real. It felt like it was. I enjoyed it a lot. I really enjoyed it. I think we were out there 4 hours and 110 degrees.
That's not bad.
Good
Four
sweat
and a
there.
half hours. Oh, what are you talking about? Oh, yeah. I'm talking drenched.
2 shirts.
And I got a Red Bull Yodka.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Okay, it got brought out there, and I didn't have so every 2 holes, there's a water thing where you just get, it's like, I don't know, they have their bottle on it, but it tastes like Fiji. I mean, it was just like, it was one of the coolest places I've ever been. I shouldn't have been there, obviously. I shouldn't have been there. And once I learned the price to get in, I'm like, oh, okay. So
Won't be back.
Yeah, this is fun.
maybe. I don't know. To be honest, that's how much I enjoyed it. Like, I had a great time.
So it did make you want to like go play more.
Yeah, like yes, like I did. Now, Saturday night, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., for the first time in like 15 years, I get woken up in the middle of the night, both hamstrings cramping.
Oh, no.
And anybody that's ever,
Oh yeah.
Then you try to stretch one, then the other one's tightening up. I did a full leg lock, butt drop onto the bed, 3 a.m., you know, and you're a little bit half asleep. I haven't had that since college. Whenever we were going through some workout where both your hamstrings just cramp. Normally, when you're growing up, you get like one at a time or whatever if you're playing sports. Then you get the double one. You're like, oh, this is the worst thing of all time. And I got it Saturday night after that 7-mile walk, Red Bull Yodka drink like it's a water on a couple holes. I mean, I was not in a great spot, but I would do it again. I'm still sore to this day. If I would have had to climb that cage last night, if Boog sort of came out with a guitar, I'm not sure I would have been able to get up there.
With the legs?
Yeah, I don't think with the legs would have been able to get up there. But I feel like the golf game's coming around. How was your guys' weekend? Everything good? You guys enjoy?
good.
Did you enjoy yourself?
Oh, yeah, we also played golf. Crazy that it actually took you a less amount of time to walk 18 than, it did for us to 18 with a cart. We had a 2 o'clock tee time. We didn't tee off until 2:45. I think they booked about 100 people for 2 o'clock, so that was nice. But it was a good weekend.
Well, 2 o'clock's a good time, too, because you'll catch the tail end of the afternoon, so it might be hot, but it'll cool down. You can sleep in, still get a lunch or brunch there.
Well, and the weather was so bad. We flew back Friday night, and it was just pouring, so we figured out there'll be nobody on the course, and boy, it was beautiful at 2 o'clock, and there were a lot of people there.
Father's Day weekend, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also a wedding there, so it was
there's
poor
a lot
planning,
going
but
I think whenever you could have never known the wedding was going to be there. Congrats to them.
Yeah, we told them.
Shout out love.
You told them congrats?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, driving by.
Clack, clack. Oh, it wasn't while you were walking. It was while you were driving the golf
They
cart.
were taking pictures.
Photos, yeah.
Any music playing while you guys were driving by? Who was running the music?
I don't think so.
No, because it was post, running into the little cart room real quick.
Oh,
see what
okay,
we're doing.
got it, yeah.
Grab a burger, grab
the
a dog.
turn, the
the
turn,
turn. There
yeah.
it is. Yeah, I play golf.
Yeah, you do. You play a lot more than me, actually. You're pretty damn good.
Oh, I would not say that. I haven't been sniffing 100 in quite some time, but we'll get there eventually.
So I think whenever you play with like good golfers, it makes you better. You have to kind of play their level, and it's also much faster.
Oh, yeah.
Like even if we're walking, those dudes were walking pretty straight. I mean,
Right,
that wasn't like, here we go.
Get to it.
Tony, my caddy, a couple of times said, I've been here before. Not a lot, but you should be right over here.
Wow.
He had to kick a bush out of the way. There was a moccasin in there. They said there's allegedly a panther that roams the course.
Oh, jeez.
Florida Panthers.
No, thank you.
I was like, there's a puma? You guys got a puma? There's a jungle cat about to run around here? 16th off to the right. Now, I did not even know we were on hole 18 when we got to hole 18, by the way. Because there isn't there just isn't like a big pillar that says like you're on the 15th, 16th, And I think we're playing from
Tips.
Blues?
and I don't know if it was the Tips, but I think it was somewhere back from where I normally play. But it was a long conversation with them all day, good conversation. And they all, I think, got on very early. They're on AJ's side about the $20 million bet.
Sure, yeah.
Because they heard about it, they learned about it. They had heard about it potentially in this whole thing. Because they knew I enjoyed golf, they said. They heard I liked golf or whatever. And I was like, I like it. I like the thought of it mostly. I like hitting balls. I watch it. Okay, I love watching it. But going out and doing golf, it just takes so much time. I don't get to do it as much, not only because the schedule's crazy, but also like mentally wise, I don't know how I can just do something for so long. Now, down there, I think I could do what I did there again on Saturday. I think I could do it again. I think that's why a lot of people do that type of thing whenever they go golf. But by the end of it, I think now we're all a little bit
Boozy.
a potential little boozy
Feeling
golf
good.
playing there at the end. But I think I got a couple of them that are like, you can get top 50 one time.
Some believers now.
One time.
Yeah.
I mean, they were changing my swing as we are going because that inside out of the pocket thing that I said I was able to do with the clubs, I hadn't done with a driver. And they were like, same thing, take it over there. And they were like lining my feet at one point, backing me up a little bit. They put a spot on the ball. They're like, hit that thing right there. And it was like, I hit like a 350, like best drive I've ever hit.
Oh,
in my
damn.
life. Yeah, so it was really coming around. So at the end, they were hyping me up a little bit. Now, that might have been all bullshit, which it probably was. But whenever you watch some pros play golf, you think to yourself, God damn, these guys are good.
Yeah.
But then when you watch these pros play at the U.S. Open, you're like, oh, they're also human.
Yeah.
Okay. So there is a little bit of a snap hook out of bounds in a massive moment for Wu Stazen.
Yeah.
There is a potential collapse by big golf ball whacker guy. There is a situation where they look human. It just is very, very, very rare. And I think that's why the U.S. Open every single year is something we look forward to, because the U.S. Open, I feel like, has a real sense that it's the course versus the players, and we're going to make them pay. There's been snapped clubs in the past. There's been terrible scores. There's normally bitching and complaining by the golfers about whatever's going on the course, whether the rough is too tall, the greens are too fast. It's just a much different tourney than everything else. And on Sunday, that little thing kind of reared its ugly head for a lot of those golfers. And listening to John Rahm talk about winning, not only on his first Father's Day, not only less than a week removed from beating Uncle COVID and losing out on a few $1 million after a 6-stroke lead going into the final day, but also him saying that in his biggest I forget who was interviewing. Somebody interviewed him and said his biggest thing was controlling his emotions down the stretch. And he said on the back nine, he never felt more comfortable, even though he saw all the big names on the leaderboard. All he wanted to do was get his name up there. And he said he felt good. He said, I hit 2 putts that I'm going to remember forever. He said, but it was a great day. It was really cool to listen to him speak. I've never heard him speak before. He seems like an awesome guy. And anytime you win, when everybody else seems to be struggling, it has to feel pretty good. Like, hey, I literally gave my best fucking effort and I beat this course that beat everybody else on one particular day, 1 week after COVID took me out. And now this leads me to think maybe for that top 50 thing I'm trying to get 20 million out of, at least 1 week before an event that I like, I should be trying to get whatever COVID, because I think you get
28,
whatever it is at the time. Maybe COVID 40.
Yeah,
could be there.
However fast, because I heard COVID's fucking like rabbits, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
COVID 20 is already, it's already in the oven.
It's moving.
It's cooking. It's coming out there. So maybe I'll do that, because last week when he definitely had it, he had a 6-stroke lead over everybody. This week after he beats it, he's the only one that scores negative basically on the last day.
Yeah.
I mean, you tell me, does COVID make you a better golfer? Research tells me maybe.
Possibly.
And I will roll the dice with whatever COVID 40's coming whenever $20 million on the line. But what a day for old fucking Jon Rahm. Good for him. I think everybody was pumped for him.
Yeah, it was incredible to watch. And you do feel bad for Oosthuizen, because Rahm finished a little bit early, and Oosthuizen, like, he just had to hold on a little bit longer, and the wheels really did fall off for him on the last 4 holes or so.
And at one point I saw, because I was following along on my phone throughout the day yesterday. I was in some meetings yesterday, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, because normally whenever I go over there, it's after the show. Everything has kind of been done, and then we go. I was like, am I allowed to? And Cole's like, yeah, absolutely, dude. Come on. So I go to a couple of these meetings. I kind of like learn some stuff, and I'm like, fascinating. Okay.
The full process.
Yeah, I don't think I'm supposed to be here for any of these ever again, but this is very, very fascinating. But I was trying to keep up with everything. There was TJ was watching the basketball game on his phone, so I got a chance to go check that out. Clippers Suns. Oh my God. Okay, Suns are about to do it.
Yeah, here we go.
Suns are about to do it. I was watching. Hey, they're 6-point lead basically all game too. It was they like maintained almost. There was a lot of potential droughts. They didn't. But then I'm watching. Devin Booker is an absolute superstar.
Yeah.
Chris Paul, COVID. Diagnosis post-vaccine. He's in protocol. How long will the protocol be? Shams told us he was going to miss at least the first game whenever he came on the show last week. Devin Booker put the team on his back. That was fun to watch. Good for Devin Booker. Good for the Suns. They have not lost, obviously, since...
Of course.
Suns in 4.
The Prophet.
And also, Clippers fans got knocked out last night,
man.
too. You don't go into the desert. Just don't go into the desert right now and try to fuck with anybody, okay?
Wow.
That sun's hitting them different. That COVID sun that hit the Phoenix Suns fans is a little bit different than, I guess, LA and Denver.
Yeah.
Because a couple fans have come into the desert and they've got run out of the goddamn thing with some fists in their mouth.
Yeah.
There was a follow-up interview to Suns and 4 guy who got his ass kicked. He said he didn't get that beat up. He just scratched his nose.
Yeah, I didn't get demolished.
There's potentially a rough and rowdy coming. Dave Portnoy, I guess, is trying to make that happen. That's good business. Would love to see round 2. After watching the follow-up interview of the guy that got beat up by the Suns and 4 guy, I would bet every dollar I have on the Suns and 4 guy in a follow-up fight too, where they both know they're going to fight each other.
Okay, the mortgage.
Just for future reference. But then I'm keeping up with the golf tourney on my phone with alerts and texts from you guys. It was almost Brooksy and Brooksy.
It was close.
Hey, that was 1-2, I think, 5-4, right?
Yeah, I mean, at the turn pretty much, and boy, DeChambeau just melted down on the back. I think he was 8 over on the back. But yeah, I mean, going into the turn, like the leaderboard, I mean, it was, all recognizable names, and then everyone kind of just choked down the stretch except for Rahm.
Okay, so let's get to a break. Big shout out to the U.S. Open.
Shout out.
Huge.
Hell of an entertaining day to follow along with. Thank you for that. Big thanks to Hell in a Cell. Hope everybody had it's tough to celebrate this type of thing. Okay, because I was tested. So I bet on our theory. The research told me.
That's right.
That COVID makes you a better golfer if your name is John. Okay?
Yeah.
My COVID research told me that 1 week ago.
Right.
So that's the type of bettor I am. Let's go ahead and test it. I put 500 on him on like Wednesday or something like that. Quick plus 850, 4750 payout yesterday. Watching Jon Rahm do his thing.
Yeah.
But watching that leaderboard, he was not. It didn't seem like he was going.
He was kind of down there.
It didn't seem like he was going. When When he became a closer like the Kentucky fucking Derby on my phone, you should have seen how excited I was getting. I'm like, this son of a bitch is going to do it. COVID does make you a better golfer. Now, that is not, hey.
We don't know for sure.
We don't know for sure.
Not a doctor.
My money has backed
You are
research.
1 of 1 so far.
So far.
Testing that theory.
That could be different. We'll get Diggs on the course, see how he's doing.
Yeah.
Here we go. The celebration from Rahm, too.
Those 2 putts.
It was incredible.
The baby, the whole thing.
Yeah.
I guess he got engaged to his wife or married his wife 3 years ago there. It was awesome. Good for him. All right, on the other side, we got Andrew Brandt joining us. He's a big brain lawyer guy.
Okay.
He was part of the Packers front office, and now he's an agent. He's done it all. He's going to break down what the fuck's going on with the NCAA and the Supreme Court.
Here we go.
The guy who likes beer and has liked beer, Brett Kavanaugh, who's on the Supreme Court, came out and buried the NCAA. Brett Kavanaugh basically said, hey, they're just starting with this thing here about educational aid, whether it's laptops and mentors and everything like that. Kavanaugh said, if y'all motherfuckers want to bring more, we are ready to take down this bullshit NCAA operation.
Let's go.
He said, I know this was probably just you guys trying to find an actual legal precedent to go against the NCAA. I want to let you know, it's good, and bring whatever the fuck else you got to, because we're 9-0 in here. So you can appeal. Yeah. You'll get to us, the granddaddy of them all. And when it gets here, let's start sharing some wealth around with the players. That's what it feels like. I might be wrong, though. We'll ask Andrew Brandt on the other side. This is the Pat McAfee Show, Monday, June 21st. Okay, so I was elected captain a week. We played the Lions up in Detroit. And Vanden Bosch was one of the captains for them. And he had red contacts in.
Yeah, that's him.
He had red contacts in, and we walked up to each other, right? And I think I'm with like Mathis and some other people. I don't know. I should not have been there. I was just far left or whatever. You know, I'm just on the far left side of it. And I walk in, and we all dap each other up. And then he's there, and I go shake his hands. I look him in the eyes, and I didn't say anything. I just looked him right in the eyes. And he like dapped me up or whatever, gave a fist bump. And I just stared at him for the entire coin toss. Like the ref was talking to whoever was going to talk for us. And I was just looking this guy right in the eyes the whole time. And then as soon as we go to leave, I go, that's wild, man. I just jog off to my side. Like, in those captains' meetings, I've had some incredible electric moments. We played against the Minnesota Vikings, and Adrian Peterson was the captain of Vikings. I was captain of the Colts. There was like 3 other people. We walk out there for this. And the only thing I've heard about Adrian Peterson is how firm, well, I've heard a lot of things about Adrian Peterson. Those aside. But I've heard that Adrian Peterson's handshake is a firm one. Like Adrian Peterson has a firm handshake. It's like this legendary story. So we go out for the coin toss and I see him and I'm like, here we go. And as soon as we go for the handshake, I get in early. I get in because the key to breaking a very stern handshake is you get in early because you got to beat the grip. You got to beat the grip. So he's like kind of casually shaking everybody else's hands. I'm like dapping everybody up like slowly. And I'm like watching him the entire time. And he brings his hand out and I race in to get the netting and your thumb on the thumb. And then I squeeze first, right? So I get like, that's like in arm wrestling when you get the angle on it. So he squeezes back and I give him like a ha-ha, like, right? So while the coin toss is happening, Adrian Peterson looks at me while he's standing on the other side. Neither of us were speaking captains. And he goes, after the coin toss, we're doing another one. It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. He goes back. As soon as the coin toss is over, there's another dap up before we run back. And we did this handshake. He got me around too. I'm be honest. And that was my drop hand too. That's like my punt drop hand. I thought it was going to be broke. But I was like, those coin toss things, I don't know how you don't shake hands because it's just an awkward situation where you're forced to shake hands almost. Hey, as we get back into society, let's remember, people will punch you in the fucking mouth.
Yeah.
Not an error, is it second?
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. We thank you for taking the time to seek out this small regional show that streams internationally. Here's Pat and the boys.
Welcome back. This is a banger.
Yeah.
It's called Hammer It by DJ Griff.
I did it again.
Ooh. Yeah, that's good. Welcome back to the terrible show. We're on a couple hours sleep after a big Hell in a Cell last night. Don't know if you've seen it, but when I flew home, I set my phone to selfie portrait mode.
Ooh.
Thank you so much. That was a cool one.
Look professional.
I feel like a lot of people on the internet that set up those, scripted candidates.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like full IG model with that thing. And yeah, exactly. Yeah, the look off into the disc. Yeah, you got to do it. I was actually looking at the ceiling at the time for that particular photo because I thought I had set it to 10 seconds. On the timing thing, actually set to 3 seconds.
Quick
so
jump.
It was a genuine candid, just by plain stupidity,
Sure.
because of me not understanding how tech works. But yeah, it was a fun time. I didn't realize though that there was a potential lawsuit happening that had gotten all the way to the Supreme Court from a West Virginia football player against the NCAA that is now potentially opened the doors for everything else to follow suit with the NCAA, potentially having to share the wealth with the players. Joining us now is a man who has had a lot of thoughts about this morning on Twitter, and a man who I believe is perfect to give us information and make us dummies feel smart in this whole thing. Ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Brandt.
Yeah!
Andrew, you host the podcast, The Business of Sport. This feels like the business and sport coming together for your dream, huh? This is a big time to be Andrew Brandt. We need you right now, bub.
Hey, Pat, this is for sports law business nerds like me. It's a big day. You know, how many cases in the United States Supreme Court deal with sports? You could probably count them on one, maybe two hands over the last, 100 years. So when something goes to the Supreme Court that involves sports, it's big. So let me get us up to date on where we are with this case. Alston, as you mentioned, from West Virginia football player leading the charge to sort of get the NCAA to loosen restraints on what colleges can give or not give to athletes. So the Ninth Circuit, with a court before the Supreme Court, said, hey, there's no restrictions on what they can do as long as it's education related. Okay, so we're going to come back to that.
Okay.
The Supreme Court said that lower court, the Ninth Circuit out of California, they said, yeah, we're in. That's the deal. 9-0, the Supreme Court unanimously agrees with the plaintiffs, the players, that there are no restrictions on benefits that schools can give to players as long as they're education related. What does that mean? That means internships. That means computers. That means study abroad. That means internships that relate to somehow to their education. It's hard to define. But let me just say before we get to questions, what it is not. And I do think this is coming. But what it is not is pay for play.
Okay, so I appreciate you saying that it is not, because you are, I feel like lawyers are like doctors. You can't say a definite until it actually is, because there's so much that has to happen for something to become a definite. I understand. But with Kavanaugh, I like beer.
I still like beer.
Brett Kavanaugh, I mean, I bet you he used to just house beers or whatever, and he probably still does, especially after making a statement like he made. It sounded like, although this is about educational stuff, it sounded like with the broader picture, and if we could pull up these quotes, by the way, the general sense from Kavanaugh was basically like the NCAA is not above the law. Everybody else has to pay their workers to make the vast amounts of money that they are making. The schools are conspiring with competitors appears to pay no salaries to the workers who are making the schools billions of dollars on theory that consumers want the schools to pay their workers nothing. Then also went on to say, to be sure the NCAA and its member colleges maintain important traditions that have become a part of the fabric of America. Game days in Tuscaloosa and South Bend. Shout out South Bend, by the way, here in Indiana. The packed gyms and stores in Durham. The women's and men's lacrosse championships on Memorial Day weekend. Track and field in Eugene. Spring and baseball, World Series, Oklahoma City, Omaha. The list goes on. But those traditions alone. So it was nice. This is the sandwich technique that you lawyers love doing. Let's go ahead and build it up at the front. All right, then let's slide in like the piece of meat, the big problems we have, then put the bread back on down at the bottom. But those traditions cannot justify the NCAA's decision to build a massive money-raising enterprise on the backs of student athletes who are not fairly compensated. Nowhere else in America can businesses get away with agreeing not to pay their workers a fair market rate on the theory that their product is defined by not paying their workers a fair market rate. And under ordinary principles of antitrust law, it's not evident why college sports should be any different. The NCAA is not above the law. Was that Kavanaugh saying, and you have a law degree and everything like that, you know this much more than me, is that him saying, hey, whatever other ones that you guys think is the right push to get this, if it makes its way to the Supreme Court, we're on your side? Is that what he's saying? Like, hey, let's start cooking these. I know the education one was tip of the iceberg because you had means for actual law and grounds for actual thing. Let's get that other shit in here, too. Is that what he's saying?
Yeah, he's setting up the stage.
Yes!
Yeah, here we go.
Okay, I like beer. I still like beer. I like college football. Those motherfuckers should be paid, though. I like this. A good move by him, I think.
Pat, you're coming to my class next. I need you to set me up like that, and then the students will just soak it all in. So listen, Kavanaugh is setting up for the next time. Most of us saw Kavanaugh, as you said, last time publicly in his confirmation hearings and everything that came out of that. Who knew that Justice Brett Kavanaugh would be the champion of the United States Supreme Court for student-athlete rights? Even in his questioning of oral arguments back a couple months ago when this case was heard, he was strident against the NCAA. He was after them. Like, why is this there? Why are we still doing this? All the things you just read, he was forecasting when he was asking the questions. And he wrote a savage, scathing opinion against the NCAA. Now, let's temper it. That is still not beyond education-related benefits. But he's saying to the NCAA and Jeff Kessler, the lawyer who's represented NFL and NBA players, you come here next time, I'll still be here, and we're going to go further.
Yeah, he'll still be there.
And that's basically what he's setting the stage for, because he's saying the NCAA has stuck to this principles of amateurism for 100 years. We're outdated. As you said, we got these multi-billion-dollar contracts. We got a different stage of NCAA athletic money, business of sports. We can't just hold on to this amateurism anymore. So now we have education-related benefits. What, as of today, Pat, you can't be a school that stops them from giving some fancy computer. You can't be a school that stops them from giving some high-paid internship. You can't be a school that does this stuff. Down the road, we'll see what happens with pay for play. But right now, anything tethered to education, the Supreme Court says, yeah, NCAA can't stop that. You're done.
Do you think any of the other justices even realize what type of racket was going on with NCAA and the athletes? Or do you think that they are so, I assume you're busy as a justice in the Supreme Court, and you said there's only been a handful of sports things that have ever made their way up there. Is it, and I assume there'll be more and more younger I don't know. I'm not even getting into that. I saw that made its way into my timeline, and if it makes its way into my timeline, that is not good when it comes to that whole thing. I knew Kavanaugh, though, before this particular statement because of his performance at that thing or whatever, but do you think he potentially was the one in there that had to lay out the case on why the NCAA is such bullshit? And was that why it was 9-0? Or do you think the Supreme Court would have always been fully on the back of the student athletes if they had known that there was this type of racket going on? Were they just kind of oblivious to it, you think?
Yeah, I think they knew. It was a 9-0 decision, unanimous decision. This was Gorsuch, Justice Gorsuch, who was the newest justice before Kavanaugh, wrote the majority opinion. He wrote the main opinion, and then Kavanaugh, for good measure, took all these shots in a concurring opinion. Yeah, it was 9-0. I didn't think there was a Justice Breyer during the oral arguments. I thought he was kind of squarely in the camp of the NCAA, but lo and behold, no, it's 9-0. Listen, you just mentioned something, the changing world of sports. Take this bigger picture. 3 years ago, the last case in the United States Supreme Court about sports was sports betting, where New Jersey beat back the NCAA, the NBA, the NFL, Major League Baseball, hockey, saying, no, you can't stop sports gambling. And then it started in the States, and here we are today. It's awesome. You've got a company like FanDuel sponsoring a big national show, I heard
International. Yeah, thank you. They are sponsoring. Hey, hold on. They're sponsoring national shows, too. They needed that. You know what I mean? They only had regional shows, then they got national shows. But, yeah, you're right. That there's a precedent. Whenever the Supreme Court gets involved, right, that normally becomes the precedent. And that's where, like, we all learn about insert verse insert, and that's all Supreme Court rulings, right? And then that's kind of how the ball gets rolling. Do they they set the tone for all the other judges, or is that kind of how that whole world works?
Yeah, listen, there's all these cases apply to be heard by the Supreme Court. The ones that they take are like 3% of cases that apply to be heard by the Supreme Court. And if they're going to take it, they're going to do something. So they're going to set a new market, as we saw for sports betting 3 years ago, and now we have for the NCAA.
Wow.
So what we have is the NCAA being told, hey, you can't hang on these traditions. Just because it's happened 50 years ago, just because of the way it's always been, we're going to do some change here. And I think it's a big moment. Now, again, no pay for play, but this is the start. This is what I call the inflection point for future changes in athlete pay.
My last question for you before Ty and Connor have stuff for you, and we can't thank you enough for joining us, Business of Sports podcast. You also have a newsletter going on. What are you doing right now newsletter-wise?
Yeah, I thought I'd add some more content to my plate.
Smart.
So every Sunday, I put out a newsletter called the Sunday 7. And it's just unique content for me you don't see on my podcast, you don't see in my column for Sports Illustrated. I think it's going well. A lot of people are signing up. You sign up at andrew-brandt.com.
Well, congratulations on that. We will sign up for sure. My last question, I forget what it was. I was so captivated by the Sunday 7. You're going into a dry period right now, and this is a bad time, I think, to start a newsletter, isn't it? Especially because I guess there's Supreme Court sport cases now.
Yeah.
I guess you're going to crush it. That's on us. I'm starting to look at a dry time here, but you're like, no, there's a lot popping off right now behind the scenes. Supreme Court's involved.
Yeah.
I can't wait to read it. Andrew-Brandt.com. Go ahead, Ty.
Andrew, this is obviously a big deal and like a big stepping stone in the right direction, but like you mentioned, it's not really done yet, and pay for play hasn't come yet. What do you think like a realistic timeline is for all this stuff to kind of get worked out?
It's a great question, Ty, because what also is happening right now, as we've talked about before, name, image, likeness. 6 states are going into effect in a week, July 1, and then the Congress is talking about all these bills they're going to pass. The NCAA's got to do something, and something this week, because these 6 states can't have advantages over others. Again, look at recruiting. They're going to be promising things that other state schools can't do. So you have that. We'll see how the NCAA reacts to that. We'll see how the NCAA reacts to this Alston decision. And there's going to be another case. I just feel it. Jeffrey Kessler, as I mentioned, he's got all these former students calling him right now. And it's going to be a busy time for the NCAA to back this off. What the NCAA has to react, and they only react, as we've seen.
They're underwater right now, huh?
To litigation. They only react to lawyers. So there will be lawyers, and there will be more lawyers.
So the NCAA, Mark Emmert's in the bunker right now. He's got 6 states about to allow these amateur athletes to make money off of the name that their parents gave them.
What?
Which is a wild thing that's about to happen. He's got that. And then all of a sudden, Kavanaugh in the Supreme Court, while Mark Emmert's like, all right, we just got to pay off the right people. We got to get the right people quiet. And then all of a sudden, I like beer. I still like beer. It's like, not me, pal. I mean, that is, I mean, it's really stinks for Mark Emmert, who, is always a guy who seems to stick his face into the cameras when adversity strikes. Not a guy that hides it all or relies upon a word that they made up. Amateurism was made up by them, wasn't it?
Yeah, and you know what? He's
some
already
fake word. So I can't go into court and say, the Ty Schmidtism of this particular thing is why it has to happen. It's like, what is that? Well, it might be a word that we made up, but it makes sense. It's like, I never understood how that fucking worked. Like, well, it's amateurism. It's like, you made that word up. So you can't just make up a word and that be your defense. Like, That's just not how this whole thing works. Happy to hear Mark Emmert might have to take some shrapnel on this entire thing. What's on, Connor?
Yeah, Andrew, you just mentioned recruiting. So for this to, really work, are they going to have like a fixed rate for everybody, or will schools like Bama, LSU, Ohio State have like more of a leeway to, give players more money?
Look for Houston.
Houston, yeah.
Houston's got oil money down there. Look for signings.
The thing the NCAA always worries about is abuse, and this is going to happen. You see the arms race that always happens with the facilities, the coaches' salaries, trying to get the best players. You know that's going to happen again, and that's really what scares the NCAA the most, is that we're going to have a two-tiered system, if we don't already, with the haves and the have-nots and other schools having trouble keeping up. But listen, that's going to happen. The free market has already taken care of it. And when the NCAA cries that we're going to lose athletes, we're going to lose sports, the natural response is, well, don't pay coaches $12 million. Take $5 million of that and support the other sports. And then they say, well, it's an arms race. So it's this circular reasoning. And one thing about Emmert, Pat, I liken him to Roger Goodell because he's not the one making decisions.
No,
he's taken the bullets.
No, he hasn't. He goes like this. Hey, when shit starts popping off, you know what Mark Emmert does? It's awesome to watch every single time he's gotten so good at it. You ready? It's like a tornado drill in his office. He hides. He just doesn't say a thing. He goes under his desk and says, "Don't ask me. It's amateurism. Fuck off." That's what he says. It's amateurism. Get out of here. It's right down the road here in Indianapolis. I see him do it. He just gets under his desk and lets everybody else fight his wars. And he says it's amateurism. That guy's done for, Brent. You know it.
He just got a contract extension.
Fuck
just
that.
got what? Tens of millions, right? So the college president's part of his job is take the bullets so they don't have to. You don't know college presidents. You know Emmert, he's the face, and he's taking the heat so they don't have to.
How will they adjust? They won't survive. This is just like there's going to be leagues that pop up. I think that's why the old.
Here's what I'd leave you with, Pat. I think NCAA sports is going to be a two-tier system. There's going to be NCAA regulating some sports, and then there's going to be big-time college basketball and football. Something else. It's not going to be regulated by a body in Indianapolis anymore. I think there's going to be a change of foot where we're going to look back in 50 years and really, the NCAA regulated college football?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, I agree. And I think at one point, they sold their right to name a champion to the BCS, and now they have the playoff, which is cool, and it's an ever-evolving time. And I can see why traditional old-school college folks aren't happy about the future potentially looking glim. But if the NCAA and the athletes could figure out how to make it work without there being abuse, which is definitely going to happen, I think it could survive. But at this point, it's going to be tough with how much money's out there. Ladies and gentlemen, joined us now, a man that talks all about that all the time. Newsletter, the Sunday 7 at andrew-brandt.com, and also the Business of Sports Pod host, ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Brandt. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Andrew.
Thanks, Pat.
He taught us that stuff, man.
Yeah.
He does have, him, Lombardi, I feel like as they get older, these guys are just like, I want to get bored. I want to work. Give me more. I want to work. I think we're playing music. Huh. Oh, I unplugged it?
Oh, and you went down?
Oh, shit.
No.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, there you go. Yep, take that red wire. Yep, put it in there.
There it is.
Thanks, Nick.
You got it.
Don't leave me lonely.
5 seconds.
Don't leave me lonely.
Show stinks. See in 6 minutes. Hour 2 is on the other side. Damn it. Come on.
Just checking your availability. If you're in Indianapolis now, did you get to Buffalo?
Yeah, I got a plane that's supposed to take me down to game day anyway, so I could definitely have it go to Buffalo first. How long is the flight from Indy to Buffalo? You can find us a plane for like 4 o'clock. I think that'll be perfect.
The best we can do is depart around 5:30.
Okay, do we have any other, can you find any other planes that could get us out of here earlier than that? I was just asked if I could appear in Buffalo within the next 4 hours to basically do the show on Fox tonight.
Okay, I'll call you back.
You know what I'm asking for?
Yeah.
All right, so he's gonna call Jim Irsay and see if I can just use Jim's jet. He's calling me back shortly, but just start packing.
Hey.
You're the absolute best. Does this sound like a potential yes, you're saying? He's the fucking best. I would be so thankful. Hey, this is really cool. I don't know how many billionaires would do this for people that have worked for them in the past. This is awesome, and I can't thank you guys enough. Can I take a kendo stick to his back?
We'll talk about it when you get here.
All right, I appreciate you, man. Hey, let's break the fucking internet tonight. What a hilarious life. We are live on Fox in 6 hours and 35 minutes. 3 hours of sleep, no clue what the storylines are. Just fucking let the nuts swing, bro. Let's just go out there and have a good time. Plane company. I know. Here we go, boys. All right, we'll talk SmackDown tonight. This is going to be a night we're going to look back on and remember. And then we're going to hop on a plane and head to Memphis for College Game Day. I think this is a joke too. I just want to let you know, like, this is a Truman Show. I very much understand that this is not supposed to happen. I got the text at 1:42 p.m. today from Mr. H that says, "Have you heard there have been some travel issues? Can you make your way to Buffalo?" Jim Irsay, owner of the Colts, literally lent me his plane. Might be the most confident I ever trained on in something. I didn't know we were that good of friends, to be honest. I was throwing a Hail Mary, and he responded and said, yeah. So I got here about an hour and a half before the show, and to work with Renee, Tom, and be on SmackDown with a bucket of makeup on my face. This has been a dream come true bucket list type situation here in beautiful Buffalo, New York. Come on, boys, we're going to be on cable.
Here by Pat McAfee, replacing our guest commentator Aiden English.
No sleeves in, George. Good to see you.
It feels good here in Buffalo. I got a text from the game, a cerebral WWE official. He said, hey, you might have heard about the travel issues. Can you make it to Buffalo? I said, absolutely. What a magical evening it is, November 1st, 2019. I mean, let's be honest. The Marine was a heathen. You know what I mean? He's a great actor. He was great on The Real World. He was great on all of that. Tegan, That's how they do it in NXT, baby. Almost took me out holding another grown lady in the air. November 1st, 2019, greatest SmackDown in the history of SmackDown. Pat, you joining us? It might absolutely be correct the way things have gone here tonight. SmackDown in the history of SmackDowns, November 1st, 2019. It's documented. I had a good time out there, man. I had no idea what was happening, so it was really just natural reaction to everything. That was awesome, dude. That's a real bucket list thing. Game day bucket list. This is like complete bucket list. 2 in 1 week. Oh yeah. Got a horseshoe shoved up my ass, and a horseshoe owner lending us a plane. Are you kidding me, dude?
Should we just make it real? Should we just say, hey, we're done, we're riding off into the sunset? I mean, do you want it to be live on your show that Vinny's officially done? Is that what you want?
I don't want that, but if it's gonna happen, happy it's happening.
Yeah.
I would like that to be known. So don't feel obligated, don't feel forced.
Put it this way. Hey, let me see. Today is Wednesday. By Friday, if paperwork goes in, you heard it here first.
First of all, congratulations on a legendary fucking career, dude. In a game that revolves around the score, okay? That's how they pick winners and losers, is in a game in which they keep score. To be the all-time leading scorer in scoring sport, I think many would say, hell of a fucking job. Yeah. Unbelievable. South Dakota kid, you didn't have an easy way either. You went over to Virginia to train. You were a high school teacher, I think, or a substitute teacher. Then you go to the World League over in Amsterdam. Somehow survived the off-the-field activities that you could have fallen into. Stayed focused on kicking. Go into New England. Beat out Matt Barr at some point, even though he had an incredible career. Win Super Bowls. Memorable moments. Biggest moments in the sports history revolve around your foot in a lot of cases. Congratulations, man. You're the fucking best. I was honored to be your teammate. Yeah.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to that show. Hour 2 on this Monday, June 21st, 2021. We'll begin immediately following this beat drop from Twine. Chuck Twine, we are in the works of making a new song.
Ooh.
I'm very excited for that. That'll probably debut this fall, if I had to guess.
Let's go.
You know, football season's kind of like our season, even though it isn't, it is. We all kind of understand that. Mm-hmm. I think so. Season, 2 of this show on Sirius XM will begin this fall, and the new intro is going to be Fire Flames, is what they say. Joining us in studio, the Hammer Down Boys. How's it going, boys?
Good, boys.
They're live 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time every single day, youtube.com/Hammer Down. And if you don't listen live, you can download the podcast. Its title is Hammer Down. We're past it. We're way past it. A lot has happened since this point. There was a lot that has happened since this happened. The England bet for the first half against Scotland that you guys were very, very, very strong on. $14,000 bet for me. $11,000 win for you guys would have been. Was an absolute tie, 0-0, which we all figured would happen because guess what? It's soccer. More specific, it is the Euros, where there is a lot of this happening. You guys were certain England was going to win the first half against Scotland. They didn't. They didn't win the whole game. And now England's losing to COVID.
Oh, no.
At Bubba Gumpino. What is going on with the England club? And Friday, I know we're past it. You're back on the winning streak. You're doing well. We're past it. I was never upset at you. I love that you took the shot. And I love that you not only bet with your heart that has been with England since you were born because the taxes and everything like that, but also you said you liked it overall. This team stinks. It's not coming home. Isn't that the case?
Oh, no.
It is not coming home again since 1966, right? Was the last time? Is that what Nigel said?
Yeah. Sounds right.
It hasn't come home since then. It sounds like it's going to be out for at least another couple of years out and about. The streets have fallen in love with it, okay? It has fallen in love with being other places than home. It is now I believe it's a street thing. I don't know if it's ever going to come home. The street lights came on since 1966, and guess what? Never came home. And now COVID's trying to beat the hell out of it. Are you all right? Is everything okay? This thing, it went to the store. Okay, and never came back.
Not coming home.
1966.
Have a pack of butts.
You guys are singing every single time. My dad's coming home. He's coming home. Every single, just like Ricky Bobby leaving those tickets down there in Talladega for his dad. His dad never coming, and it feels like it might never be coming home for you either, Gumpy. That's a shame. I hate it for you. You guys are passionate. Content of the video quality, terrible, but the song and the passion is awesome. And that team stinks. Is that the case? Am I wrong or am I right here?
Just got to win tomorrow. Get to the knockout stage. Even a draw tomorrow, we're still through. I mean, Stones hits that wide open header. That game's over.
Yeah, I mean, it was a sitter.
Someone tried to tell me that wasn't a sitter.
It was a sitter.
You're wide open in the 6-yard box by yourself.
Yeah.
That has to go in the back of the net.
That son of a bitch walked right into the 6 and just sat right down.
Yeah.
That thing was a sitter. I've seen it. Sitter right there. who's going to play on our team, though? If COVID's running wild like it probably does, and it has in the past with a lot of different teams. I don't know if England's different. Maybe they got different air over there or whatever. But there's going to be a couple good players down. Maybe a couple more sitters are going to have to be standing out there. And is that good for the England squad? How's the depth? How do we feel? And who are we playing?
It might actually be good because the coach might play some of the players that are good instead of sitting them on the bench.
Oh, okay. So there's always something, isn't there? There's always something to bitch about.
Yep.
It's the ref. It's the league. It's the coach. It's this.
Weather.
There's always something. I love it. That's maybe my favorite part about soccer is it's never the team. It's never anything like. It's everything else that's going on with it.
You show me one other team in the tournament who won their first game and changed both their fullbacks the next game. Show me one other team.
If Allstott's your fullback, guess what? You fucking
let him ride.
You try to find another one. You don't take him out of there.
No
what are
way.
we doing at Tone Diggs?
You never know.
The COVID Cowboy still. I see the hat is still on.
Well, I was going to say, England could be one of those rare breeds like I and John Rahm and only get better with COVID.
Yeah, I understand. You did get much, much better during your COVID cave days.
Yeah.
Then you became an immunicorn, and you've only since grow since then, except for the England first half bet against Scotland. I can't harp on that enough. You guys are incredibly great gamblers, but there was a massive bet on Friday that was a loss that you co-signed against, I guess, because you were teammates with Gump. Although you faded him the first game of his Super Bowl or whatever.
Give me turn, my list.
But I didn't know we were still doing a cowboy hat. I thought there was a new sheriff in town.
There might be a new sheriff in town, but over here at the COVID Corral, instead of just being one COVID cowboy, I said we should build a COVID community of COVID cowboys. John Rahm, welcome to the Corral. If England comes back and wins, they will also be welcome into the COVID Corral. It's a nice little place. We have fun.
Oh, so you guys are like Augusta.
Yeah.
It's like you got green jackets, but those are cowboy hats.
Yeah.
That just come out of nowhere. Imagine if you sent John Rahm a cowboy hat.
Oh, you got him.
And said, hey, COVID cowboy.
Something to think about.
Welcome to the club. Oh, that would be awesome with a belt buckle.
Something to think about.
Oh, my God. That'd be awesome. Congrats to John Rahm, by the way.
That's awesome.
Have you golfed since getting COVID? How did it work for you or just for him?
It didn't. I don't think it reflects only for golf. I think it's whatever your main focus is on, you get better at that.
Oh, so it's like Adderall.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Yeah, you kind of like get dialed in a little
Don't get
bit.
off the tracks.
Because you're gambling.
Correct.
You became the best you've ever been. John Rahm, golf, becomes the best he's ever been.
Unbelievable at golf.
Is that being talked about in the asterisks? That there are potential cases where, people say they're at 50%. Myles Garrett said he's 50%. Cam Newton, I think he said that he felt a cloud. So it was happening. Now, this COVID-19, I mean, this thing had some depth, okay? This wasn't some shallow-ass virus.
No.
It at times, it was able to be spread via eye contact. We got to remember that through this entire thing. A lot of negatives to talk about, though. Obviously, it took out a lot of people. That is terrible. Hate it. Do not love it. Stop the entire world. There's been a lot of people that said afterwards they feel a certain way. But it feels like for John Rahm and Tone Diggs, there's a chance that they were able to get more locked in and become better somehow. That's wild. I hope that's the type of COVID I get, not that kill one.
I hope it's at least a foot.
No kidding.
Yeah, I hope I don't get the killer COVID. I hope I get the concentration COVID.
Yeah.
All right, that's what I want.
Steroid
The different strain. I want a little bit of the sativa indica as opposed to the murdica.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the COVID strain that I am looking for. Because in this room, that guy became the greatest gambler I've ever seen in my entire life.
All time.
And John Rahm wins the fucking Open afterwards after leading by 6 strokes going into a Sunday in another tournament with COVID. It's like, how many different... I feel so bad for the people that didn't get those strands because it seems like you're living your best life. This son of a bitch hasn't taken a cowboy hat off since COVID. Thought he was losing it today because there's a new sheriff. Turns out, no, it's just a whole community over there.
The final test will be Chris Paul. If Chris Paul comes back and dominates in his first game back, I mean...
Imagine he puts up Devin Booker's stats in the first
triple-double, 40
points.
Or maybe he doesn't have the gene that we have. I mean,
the strain, not the gene. Oh, you think it's potentially...
I'm surprised that no one has contacted me for a vial of
Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who I think went to a COVID cave this weekend for his cult. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk. God, it's great to see you back, AJ. How are you?
What's happening, man? I feel like it's been a long time. When I called you from the trip, I couldn't. Yeah, that never works out too well. I couldn't see you. I could barely hear you. So sorry about that. Good to be back in our normal spots.
No, it's great to have you back, and we appreciated the phone call. You had a great hat on at the time. You were wearing your cult costume you had to wear. So is everybody in there wearing Buckeye gear just the entire day? You go in the pool, it's Buckeye swim trunks. We're peeing into the Buckeye pool with our Buckeye Crocs on. Is that an entire weekend of just all Ohio State, everything there?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
God, that sounds awesome. Think about how much money they make over there.
They brought in over like the time we were there, like 4 days, they brought in $3 million. So yeah, they're not messing around.
Hey, those Colts, they get it.
Yeah,
they do.
Got to pay your tithes.
Open up that checkbook.
Got to pay your tithes. You enjoyed it, huh? I texted you. I forget what night it was. Saturday. I said that literally sounds like the worst thing of all time. If I was asked to go to this, an entire resort is filled with places you can't go other than your room and maybe away from, if you want to get away from anything, have a good time. That was a work trip for you, and I'm incredibly impressed that you would do that just for charity. What a good guy.
Great guy, AJ.
Good job, AJ.
He could just write a check, but he says, no, you know what? Drop me in the middle of the epicenter of every OH in the country, and I'll just do that for 5 days with my family and get 0 hours of sleep or alone time. AJ, thank you.
You're a hero, AJ.
For charity, you're a fucking hero, dude.
Hero.
I didn't do anything, but I did get the text Saturday, I know, after you had your, I'm sure you talked about already, your golf round, where you walked 18 holes for some reason in 700-degree weather. And you said you shot a 90, but you picked up on 2 holes. That means you probably shot a 115.
No, they gave me full eights.
Okay, then you probably got a 15 on those holes.
Well, maybe I could have if I would have actually finished. I mean, there's a gator near a couple.
Can't do that.
I spread ball into the gators, and I also heard there's a potential Florida Panther roaming the land. I mean, what do you want me to do? You want me to die on a Saturday, 150 degrees? No. Just give me the snowman. I'll keep it moving, dude. All right, you want me to die out there? I will say, I enjoyed walking while I was doing it. The double hamstring cramp 3 a.m. Saturday night was something I haven't experienced in a long time. That was tough. The full old school, both legs, oh my God, stretch, stumble, stretch, locked up type thing. You think it's never going to end. I got past that, but it was a wild experience out there. I had a good time. Those are good people out there.
I mean, it sounds like you were at a very, very nice course. Did you say what the name was? Are you allowed to?
I haven't said the name, but I don't think I've said the name on air. I don't think. But no big deal, dude.
But you shouldn't have been there, is what you're saying.
Yeah, there's no way I should have been there. Rondé Barber, hell of a golfer. The group I was with, very good. They golf a lot. You know what I mean? Like that place is for people that travel into town to golf, travel back. Even in I guess there's people that stay there that'll travel in middle of the week to play one round in the evening and then fly back for another meeting the next day. Yeah, I guess it's I guess when you go there, you love golf, and I tell you what, I can see why. It was fucking fantastic. So hot, AJ. It was 150 degrees. How was it down at your thing? It had to be so hot down there.
Yeah, it was kind of overcast most of the time, but yeah, and I burn very, very easily. So that's why I had the old bucket hat on. Yeah. All my kids were there, so they want to be in the pool all day. I'm not built for that humidity, man. If it's not my decision to be there, I don't want to be there.
Hey, imagine those training camps. Imagine those training camps down there. I guess New Orleans had to move. They went to West Virginia, actually. And I think they were doing some in Mississippi, maybe, because New Orleans humidity. I mean, where training camp is, I think that is initially why they're like, we got to move this thing. We got to get out of here. There's Arizona, I assume, in the middle of summer in the desert is bad. Miami, I assume that is tough. That would be difficult. Now, not for me, obviously. Hey, not for me. I'm just kicking a ball. But, man, that would be tough. That's a certain advantage, though, early in the season when it's hot as balls down there and you got a chance to go through a full camp with the humidity. And although your body will never actually adjust, if you're from a cold town, you've at least done it a little bit to get acclimated. That is a death sentence for some teams coming down there if it's 110. That is a nightmare, AJ.
I mean, you're right, especially early in the season if guys aren't really coming from that. I remember we played in Miami one time. It was one of those days where it was probably 100. It was 9,000% humidity, and it was nasty. We had guys cramping up all over the place after the game. Same thing, like you're talking about cramping after walking 18. You have that thing in the airplane. There's nothing you can do. You can barely stand up to try to stretch your head.
And I don't know how. It doesn't matter how tough you are. Okay, it does not matter how tough you are. AJ right there has played through what? A popped calf, popped groin,
torn
popped
pec,
knee surgeries, everything like that.
Broken hands.
As soon as all of his fingers have been busted individually, like some mob boss got a hold of him after he owed him something, I bet whenever your hamstrings cramped, I think it gets everybody. That is some of I forgot about it. It's been over a decade since I experienced that. I went right back to the first time I got it. I think I was like 12 or 13 in my bedroom after like a soccer tryout in the middle of the night. I went immediately back to that moment. And I was just as helpless as I was then on Saturday night. It was like, oh my God, what do we do here? It's tough, AJ. That shit hurts.
So what are you telling me you are going to have to work yourself into golf shape if you're ever going to win this bet?
So I want to let you know that at the beginning of the round.
Hey, Rondé's a smart guy. How does he feel about your bet?
So that's at the beginning of the round. I think they were all very much calling me the dumbest human of all.
All right, don't try to tell me by the end of the round they told you were going to make it. I know that's where I can tell. We can see by your tone.
I think they never gave me because these guys golf a lot with a lot of great golfers. Okay, and these guys were all much better than me at golf, but. They all, after we had a couple of drinks and we made some little changes to the swing and we started seeing some balls fly, Tony, my caddy, was starting to give me some reads. Some things were happening. They didn't give me yeah, you're going to do it, but maybe, 31 years they gave me. It's a long time. 31 years is a long time. So at the beginning, it felt like a tough crowd. It felt like the caddies were even all against me, obviously, and the other. But then as we continued to play a little bit, and some shots were being showcased. So, hey, out of the pocket. Hey, out of the pocket. Okay.
How did that translate?
There was a couple snap hooks, but almost hit a hole in one. 204-yard par 3.
Cool. Congrats.
5-iron, no big deal. How you doing?
So did you get a bogey on that hole?
No, come on. Par. Par. Hey, I missed the
It's usually how it goes.
I two-putted the shit out of that thing. But I had a great time. I had a blast. AJ, I'm happy you're back. The big thing that happened this weekend, obviously, Jon Rahm. Hell in a Cell, obviously.
Yeah.
But other than that, Jon Rahm winning this thing. COVID might have made him a better golfer. COVID made Diggs a better gambler. I think in this particular strand of COVID that Diggs and I think Jon Rahm got, it made him better all of a sudden. He said he was more relaxed on Sunday than he's ever been. Obviously, those 2 massive putts. Everybody's falling down the leaderboard. I'm incredibly happy for that guy, AJ.
Well, I was here. Zito connected me at the beginning when you came back here at the top of the hour, and so I was watching you talk about the different strands and everything. But you're trying to tell Diggs that he got the performance enhancing COVID, and he's saying, no, I just have the clutch gene, and that's what my gene does to the normal COVID.
Yeah, Diggs is saying there's only one strand of COVID. It's whether or not you got it in your body, you actually have it. You're either born with it or it's not. And that's what Diggs is trying to spin, which would make him a superhuman. So that is why he's spinning that narrative. We're not sure if the research is accurate or not. Maybe Rahm and Diggs share that particular whatever, but Diggs got much better at gambling. Much, much, much better. Tenfold better at gambling whenever he got COVID. Jon Rahm, 6-stroke lead with COVID last week, and then wins this thing when everybody else loses 1 week after COVID. You have to wonder if it's the same thing that Diggs got. Maybe they open mouth kissed.
I'm glad he was able to play in the event. What did he have to show? He had to test negative for a few days, I guess, before they would let him go to the U.S. Open?
I think the big thing in everybody is 2 negative tests in a row. I think that's the NBA thing for Chris Paul right now, and I think that was them. Now, granted, all these protocols change like weekly, daily, it feels like at this point.
By the way, I was reading an article today because a few weeks ago when this happened, you guys were talking about did he have to stay in Columbus, what happened. He had a Southwest flight booked or he was going to take a private plane. Couldn't do either of those, obviously, because he had COVID. He couldn't drive back to Phoenix, so he got an air ambulance. Apparently, those are a thing.
He hopped in a helicopter?
No, it was a plane, like an air ambulance plane.
Hey, I want to let you know, AJ, you were attacking us for talking about, well, how's he get out of here? Yeah. Everybody on Earth knows he has COVID. He's not allowed to be around anybody. You remember we said that?
So he got on a plane and he flew to Phoenix.
He had to find a fucking ambulance plane.
What is that?
Probably $100,000 to get that thing up in the sky. If I had, hey, great plane. Got him better at golf.
Yeah.
Got him back.
Good job, plane.
Gave him some fluids up there.
Joining us now, probably IVs up there. Shout out. Shout out. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who was tweeted yesterday when he coming back on the show, and he said, whenever I'm asked, and I was like, Stink should come on the show now. Ladies and gentlemen, Super Bowl champion, Electric Factory, Fox football analyst, ladies and gentlemen, Mark Schlereth.
Yes, dude!
What's going on, dude?
How are you guys, man? Great to be back.
Hey, to both of you, happy Father's Day. I hope it was a fantastic day. AJ was with a cult down in Florida, the Ohio State cult, raising money. What did you do yesterday? Anything cool, Stink?
I spent the day doing some landscaping. I did a raised garden project. So I did a raised flower bed around this tree that I've been messing with. I started it last year. I only did half of it. And my wife said, I'd like it to go the rest of the way around the tree. So something of that nature. I really wasn't listening to her. So I did it. I did it. And so I spent all day out in the yard yesterday. It was awesome.
Happy Father's Day. Great dad move, by the way, finishing a job that you started a year ago. That's great.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just classic. We're talking about Jon Rahm. I don't know if you got to see that or not. Just 1 week after being eliminated from a golf tourney where he was in the lead by 6 strokes, has COVID, has to get an ambulance plane to fly him all by himself. I assume he had hazmat suits on. I assume there's hazmat suits on that thing. Now he wins the U.S. Open. Did you get a chance to see it? What are your thoughts on old Jon Rahm?
I thought it was pretty amazing. It's really cool, to have that happen to you. You got like the juxtaposition of him being taken away from that tournament where he's just literally in tears. He's just so upset about it with the big lead that he had created in that tournament, and then to come back here at the U.S. Open and be able to win that absolutely amazing performance. Kind of one of those. I don't know if you believe in the golf gods, but it just feels like it was one of those karma things. That's what happened. And by the way, the I didn't even know such a thing existed as the airplane ambulance, right? That you can even get one of those.
Yeah, AJ knew it existed. He just acted like it wasn't that big of a deal. It turns out a guy had to pay $700,000 to get that thing. I mean, it's unbelievable. Get out of Ohio. He was one of the only people in the entire world that everybody knew, that guy's got COVID.
Right there.
That guy right there has COVID. I mean, that guy lost $2 million, and that guy has COVID. Get that guy the fuck away from me, is what happened over there in Ohio. Happy he got home. Now he wins. I believe in the universe a lot, Stink. I think we all do. Go ahead, AJ.
So I hate to pivot away from this, but I wanted to go back to you on Twitter and what you're doing. It's fun to watch, but what would have been like if they had Twitter when you were playing? Would you have engaged with fans like this?
No, I probably wouldn't have. And I just thought when I was playing, it was, that was a business thing. For me, it's funny. I live next door to a coach who coaches in the league, and he's back from vacation, and I don't know about you, but man, I was miserable cuss. I couldn't enjoy this 6 weeks that they have off or whatever. I couldn't enjoy that, because all I could think about it was, man, I'm going to go back to training camp, going to beat the crap out of my body. It's not going to be great. And so I could never really enjoy the time. So I just don't think I could engage like that on Twitter. And here's the one thing that I would have been fine with. You can say whatever you want about me. It really doesn't matter. It's one of those things that your opinion of me doesn't. I couldn't care less. It doesn't affect me at all. And so I actually kind of like reading some of the hate that I get towards on Twitter because I think it's funny. So I appreciate that aspect of it, but. I was just so focused on what I was trying to do as a player that I don't ever believe that I would have gotten too involved in that as a player. Now it's just good, clean fun. When I'm bored, I just get on there and start, mixing it up with people. So I enjoy that part of it.
Well, I can understand that you can do hindsight and say that you would have done this, but I'll tell you what, man, when you were laying up doing rehab or whatever at night and you had the entire world in your hand, and that wasn't like that whenever you were playing, I think you would have been fantastic on there as a player, especially with your hatred for who? Is it Raiders? I think the Raiders fans. Mm-hmm. Oh, you would have been awesome on there. But I understand that your mindset each year was like, okay, I got to focus on this. It's a job. I got to go to camp. You said something there that was fascinating to me. At the beginning, was there an excitement to get to training camp? And then as you got older, you hated it? Or was it always like, okay, training camp's going to stink? Because there's some people, I guess, that, there's some people that enjoy it early and then that kind of wears off year 2, year 3. Were you always like that? Offensive line has to be fucking miserable to think about.
Right. Well, it is. I mean, there's nothing that good can happen to you as an offensive lineman, right? I mean, like if you block for a running back, gets 250 yards rushing, you're a tagline at the end of the statement, like, hey, got to think the big fella's up front. And then, but let's talk about me for a while. But you give up one sack against a guy who's a much better athlete than you. You give up one sack and you're a piece of crap, and that guy goes to the Pro Bowl. So nothing really good can happen to you as an offensive lineman. So I've always believed in that. So most of us are completely motivated out of fear and paranoia. Of not getting our job done, of making a mistake, of being singled out for holding or whatever the case may be. So yeah, I love the camaraderie. I love the fact that you can bring 5 guys together from different parts of the country with different, economic backgrounds, social backgrounds, and all that stuff. And for you guys to be good, all 5 of you have to be on the same page. You got to be working together. So that's one of the things I love. It's not the individual parts; it's the individual parts as a whole that makes it great. Those are really good sets, by the way. I mean, I'm telling you, I love the hands. I mean, the hands come right now. Boom. Yeah. Right there. Yeah. You got to have the weapons up. You got to have the guns pulled out of the holster. You got to be ready to roll.
Go ahead, AJ.
Mark, I think we can get him to throw his hands early. I think we can get a little feint. He's going to throw his hands. We can chop right back.
I'm patient. You're coming to me. I got a spot I got to get to. Ain't that right, Stink? I got a spot I got to get to out here at tackle. You got to come to me, pal, okay? The goal's back here. You got to come to me. I ain't going to you.
Okay, I
do have to tell you this, Pat. You got to, it's imperative that you change up your sets. It's imperative that you understand the drops, the timing of the quarterback. Is it a 5-step drop with a hitch? Is it a 5-step drop with no hitch? Can I upkick on this 5-step drop? I mean, how can I change the angle of my set, the depth of my set, all those things? You got to be thinking about that stuff. You just can't keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. I like the set, but we got to change it up occasionally.
Just remember the Titans offense, all right? We only run a couple plays, and we know them. We know them inside out.
Work like Novocaine.
Nameless, faceless, just give it time. It's going to work. Go ahead, AJ. Sorry about that.
Stink, I was thinking of the great Kevin Greene, and when you're talking about pass sets, what did you hate when you're trying to block somebody? Because Kevin Greene always would start with Cobra Strike, head and hands. He thought everything came from physicality. Was that the toughest thing to block?
No, I want guys to run into me because that's what I was good at. The guys that run into me because, from a leverage standpoint and a technique standpoint and a hand strength standpoint and just a weight room strength standpoint, so you run into me, it's done. The guys that gave me trouble are the guys that were almost gelatinous, the guys that you can't get your hands on, the guys that, never give you they always present this narrow silhouette. They never give you their chest. You can't grab onto their pads. Those are the guys that drove me nuts, the guys that I had to be patient with, that I couldn't be aggressive with. So that was always the thing that was the most difficult for me to deal with. So I want you to just try to bull rush me. I want you to be the Cobra Strike, hit me in the head, and I got nothing in there but a box of rocks. So that's what I was hoping you would do.
Rest in peace, by the way, to the legend Kevin Greene. There.
Yeah.
Did you say gelatinous?
Yes, gelatinous.
Let's go ahead and put that on the ticker. Put that on the ticker.
Here we go. Get it on there.
The toughest defensive lineman to block is a gelatinous one, says Mark Stink Schlereth.
Like Zeke.
What does gelatinous mean? That just means like wiry? Like what is?
Well, you've been eating Jello before,
that's
trying to balance it on a spoon or whatever, and it's jiggling all over the place.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the guy's got to be jiggly. I'm just saying the guy's got to be, he's got to be smooth. He's hard to get your hands on.
That's me too. I think I could have played either side of the line if I was much tougher, and bigger and stronger. Yeah. There's just a couple things that if I could just really piece it together, I think I could have been great in the trenches. I wish I could have had that brotherhood alongside you, Stink, honestly.
Yeah, that honestly is the best part of it. I tell you, one of the things we used to do in my time in Denver, and it was one of the funnest things we ever did. And it's funny, as I go around and consult with teams in the off season, we just talk about how to connect and how to be relational. And one of the things we did was we would always shut down the meeting early on a Friday, and our coach would just put a topic up on the board. and we would just discuss whatever that topic may be. And it was always interesting to get other people's perspectives, because you could disagree with perspective, but at the same point, you need to have respect for that person's opinion and where that opinion comes from. So just from a standpoint of being together, studying together, working together, and then understanding one another at a deeper level, it really, to me, it was one of the great things that we got to do in our championship runs here as a member of the Broncos. And it's one of the things I enjoyed the most about playing, is just being together and being sequestered in that room and being able to kind of have that connection with the guys that you play with.
Hey, culture building is something that everybody's trying to do. And I think a football locker room does such a great job. Not everyone. Hey, there's some bad cultures. And I think all of us have probably gotten a chance to witness at least one somewhere where you're like, okay, these guys hate each other. Like, this is just, this is a purely business outfit here. But then once you get into a locker room where it feels like everybody's kind of, all in, that is a game changer, and it's something you can never let out of your building if you have it. You can never let it leave. It's hard to get back. You know what I mean, Stink?
Yeah, and it's got to be worked on every day. It's got to be something that's worked on, adhered to, preached on a day-to-day basis. One of the things, I made the suggestion to a team that I was talking to 2 weeks ago, and I'd be interested to get your perspectives on this, because I played defense in college for 3 years, and then I kept getting injured, and I ended up retiring from football and coming back my last year, switching to the offensive side of the ball and playing offense, and how beneficial that was to me as a player, because when I'd see things that were out of place as a defense, you'd always be like, well, that dude shouldn't be there. Like something smells, right? Something's coming. And one of the suggestions I made was, hey, you ought to do an install where you put the whole, like today in training camp, here's the morning install, and we're going to run drag slant, we're going to run hook curl, and we're going to run, our curl flat. We're going to run, right? We're going to put in the 19 handoff, 18 hand. We're going to do all that. And you put it in, you go out and practice it. And then make all the reinstall in the afternoon. Make all the defensive players go to offensive meetings, and make all the offensive players go to defensive meetings.
They're going to hate
just so you can understand the different issues that everybody has. And I think it would be, not only would it be a blast to kind of get a different perspective, but then to go out and try to execute that stuff as defensive linemen playing offense and offensive linemen playing defense. I just think it would be kind of a fun exercise in trying to understand what other people go through and how difficult each job is.
Hey, that's an incredible idea. Hey, great theory. Great theory. But you just said it. Those 6 weeks of off time, you hated it because you knew training camp was around the corner. Could you imagine your fucking ass in the morning having to do offensive line stuff, a full practice, and then a follow-up meeting, and then afterwards, okay, you're going to go into the D-line switch. You would have been so furious. I mean, that would have been, by the way, if I was on that team, oh my God, here we go, boys. Hey, let's go learn another position. Woo! Hey, by the way, though,
I tell you, here's what I would have liked.
It's a good idea. That's theory. It's a great idea.
I would have liked to play a little D-line and have the D-line coach say, hey, like key in all the defensive linemen, as they always do, about what the snap count is, this is not helping your players, right? They'd be like in inside, like when you're in team, all of a sudden you hear the D-line coach go, a run's called. He goes, hey guys, really be firm in there. Be firm. Like, really, dude? Like those guys don't know. Now we're running the ball. So I'd like to have that. I'd like to have that advantage on the other side.
I respect it. We're talking to Mark Schlereth, obviously 3-time Super Bowl champion, offensive lineman for the Denver Broncos. Had John Elway's. This one's for John Elway's hands in his ass, getting footballs for a long time, a lot of success, legendary human. You talk about the culture there, and especially with your Denver Broncos history. Von Miller had to come out and talk about this because he's Von Miller. He's one of the stars of your team. He's full-blown superstar at this point. He was asked, about the rumors at the quarterback position, and he had to give an answer representing the entire team and reality at the same time, where he was like, I can't really get caught up in those because we got Drew Lock. Drew Lock's our guy. And I think he even said, like, you can hear about him, you think about him a little bit, but we still got Drew, and now we got Teddy here as well. How do you think that is for building a culture. And if it's Aaron Rodgers, I guess like you get Aaron Rodgers in your building, and Tom Brady is going to be on LeBron James' barbershop talk show. And I guess he actually told a team that was interested in him, backed off at the end, or he thought to himself, you're going to stick with that motherfucker? So I think there are a couple quarterbacks where it's like you take them over whatever. But when you're the Broncos, you have to hear that there's potentially Aaron Rodgers coming to the team. How do you block that out, you think, Stink? And have they been able to do that? And how will this affect everything going forward, you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think you always, as much as offense is about, rhythm and everybody working together, you're trying to make sure that you do your job. And and if I do my job and everybody has that same attitude, we're going to be pretty good. I think from a blockout standpoint, I mean, he's Aaron freaking Rodgers, right? If Aaron Rodgers is here, this is an offense that's been scoring 17.5 points a game for the last 4 or 5 years. So, there are issues. There are definite issues. And you look at some of the young talent that they have on the offensive side of the ball, and I think that's got to excite you. But, we used to always say, hey, young guys in potential will get you fired. I want guys that can play.
Yes.
So, I mean, you've got to be able to kind of balance all that stuff out. But, you support your guys. But, hell, we all know if Aaron Rodgers walks through the door, man, it changes your future. I mean, that guy is one of the 3 or 4 unicorns that you have in this league. So, I mean, I think everybody I even think Drew Lock would be like, hey, Aaron Rodgers, great.
Yeah.
Maybe what can I learn?
I think so too. Go ahead, Ty.
Speaking of Rodgers stink, I think, it was like maybe a week or 2 ago that Benjamin Albright in Denver reported that there was a good chance that, Rodgers still wants to go there and that they're interested. Being from around the team and everything, do you see that? Is that a real chance of actually happening or no?
Oh, I definitely think there's a real chance. I mean, I was funny because the news today was, does Aaron Rodgers want to stay in Green Bay? He renewed his golf membership at the Green Bay Country Club. I'm like, what's the golf tournament? What's that called? $2,800? I mean, at the Wisconsin Country Club in Green Bay. I mean, I have no idea.
No offense,
but it
Green
can't
Bay.
be. It can't be. It can't be breaking the bank or anything. I wouldn't imagine. It's Green Bay, for crying out loud.
Well, that's what I just said. Yeah, no offense to Green Bay. I hope they didn't take any, but you're right. I mean, you can only golf 2 months a year,
right?
3 months a year.
Yeah.
So who knows how much it would be? And when that story came up, I found it very entertaining because it's been an ongoing thing with AJ over there. Some of my fiscal decision making has come into question with old buddy over there. I have numerous country club memberships around the country that are on auto pay because I wanted to golf one day and they forced me into signing up for an auto pay 2-year thing. So that is kind of when I saw this Aaron thing last week, he renews his thing. I'm like, I'm happy Aaron does the same thing I do. I'd like to golf today. How much do I got to pay? That's a long commitment. You can get on right now, though. Take it.
Fuck it.
Deal. It's not good. It's not right. But I think that is potentially what that is. But that Aaron saga, it's almost at this point hard for me to even talk about until something happens. But if he ends up at Denver, that'd be insane. You guys be a really good team, right? I mean, that's a really good squad if he ends up there.
I think defensively, some of the adjustments they've made, some of the guys they've signed on the defensive side of the ball, the way the league is really constructed defensively is different from when I was in the league, where you could play a lot of cover 2. You just roll up. You say, as long as we have a great front 7, we're going to be okay. And it was all about stopping the run. Now you're in sub package. You're in dime, you're in nickel, you're in penny, whatever you are. I mean, you're probably 65-70% of the time. So I think most defenses, like when I came in the league, they were built from the front back. I think most of the defenses now are built from the back forward. And if you don't have a great nickel guy, if you don't have a great dime guy, you're in trouble. It's just the way it is. And if you don't have speed at the linebacker position, you're in trouble. So that's the way defenses are built. I think they have they've done that this offseason. And obviously some of the talent they have on the offensive side of the ball is really good. Aaron Rodgers would help obviously develop that talent, but he also helped that offensive line, the way he gets rid of the football and everything else. I think they've become instantly a playoff team from a 5-11 team that they were last year.
Stink, we can't thank you enough for joining us, boss. We're going to move on to probably a dumber conversation, and we don't want to take up any more of your time. We appreciate you so much, man.
Anytime, man. Always a pleasure to be on with you guys. Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Schlereth. The gelatinous. Wow. That was a big word, AJ. Hey, We need to start adding that type of stuff into the show. We need to start doing stuff like that where we say words and people go, wow. That's a good word. That's a good word. I did not know gelatinous existed. He said it was Jello. I thought in my head I saw it being spelled G-E-L like a gel.
Yeah, gelato.
It is.
It is.
Yeah. Nailed it.
All right.
Here we go.
You did.
Fucking hey, I'm a speller, dude. I'm a pretty good speller. Never read a book, but I can spell pretty good. AJ, there's something happening with your friend in Chicago that we didn't get to chat about there with Mark Schlereth before we have to take a break here in this hour 2. And then on the other side, answer some phone calls, 1-833-4-McAfee if you want to get on the line. I believe the phone lines are filled, but as soon as we hang up on somebody, go ahead and jump on in there. Can't wait to chat with you. Andy Dalton has been the perfect veteran quarterback for Justin Fields, is what everybody is saying. Justin Fields came out and said that Andy Dalton and Andy Dalton's wife took him out to dinner. He's been sticking around after practice to help him and everything like that. And this made me think Andy Dalton had already made the decision in his life to be a backup quarterback whenever he went down to Dallas. Now, did he think that was going to be a one-year thing where he potentially goes and gets a starting job afterwards? Maybe. That is potentially something that happened. Or was it him actually meeting the point in his career where he said, you know what, I can be a backup. Now, I got a chance to watch Matt Hasselbeck grow into this role where he said it was even difficult for him after starting in Seattle and then in Tennessee. Then he comes to Indianapolis. They're like, hey, we need you to sit behind a guy and kind of teach him the football here at the NFL. Will you do that? Hasselbeck said it wasn't an easy decision, especially for a alpha quarterback position who's been there, has won playoff games, has gone to a Super Bowl, the whole thing. He said that was tough, but once he hit that point, he was excited to kind of give information back to the game. Is Andy Dalton at that point, did he make that decision in Dallas, you think? Or does he see Justin Fields? He's just like, you know what? I get a chance to be a cool veteran here. Let me instill as much game as I possibly can into the future here. Do you think that's the case, or what do you think it is?
I mean, I don't think he made any kind of decision to like say, okay, I'm okay being a backup. I'm sure when he went to Dallas, he knew Dak was the starter, and hey, maybe I'll get an opportunity, and then if I show what I can do, I'll get another opportunity. So
okay, so he
I
did
feel
make
like
that.
Yeah, in Chicago though, when he signed on, what they said he's a starter, and then they draft Justin Fields, and he's just being a good teammate, a good dude, doing stuff that I guess you don't have to do by any means, but I guess that's just who he is.
It seems like he's going above and beyond though. Like I think that he's
a good dude. Like he's a very uniquely nice, like good person.
I got a chance to hang around him Pro Bowl week, and then we played Cincinnati in the preseason every year. So every once in a while, I'd have a quick conversation with him. And Huber is their punter. He's like, Dalton, cool dude, you know, like everybody has said he's a cool guy. So I assume he knows the situation they're in. He was brought in, 3 weeks before the draft, 2 weeks before the draft. They had an entire press conference about he being the starter over Nick Foles. That's why he went there, actually, he said. This comes after they were going to trade for Russell Wilson to be their starter. Then they obviously give him a heads up, draft Justin Fields. And Dalton's like, I've seen this situation happen around the NFL before. This can go one way. This can go another way. I'm going to go ahead and take it the other way. And if this guy becomes a stud, at least maybe we'll get the Patrick Mahomes, Alex Smith type thing, where Patrick Mahomes said, if it wasn't for Alex Smith, I would have never been who I am, even though I've gone on to have success. I guess Bears fans are probably hoping for that, just a little bit of success one time.
And if he's staying after practice, I mean, to help him, like, just do little tips and stuff like that. Like, it's one thing to be doing it during it, but to, use his own time to actually help him out. That shows that he must be comfortable with it.
But also, that's also like a conscious effort he's made. Like, okay, I'm going to help this guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Is it normal for a player to go 2 weeks early to camp, too? That's just reported that Justin Fields is going 2 weeks early.
So I think rookies are allowed to go early, right? They have an early, I think it's a week, right? I don't know if it's 2 weeks or a week.
Is their camp at their normal facility, or are they going off campus? Do you know?
Usually Bourbonnais, but I don't know.
I'm not sure. Are they
Like,
going to
if
Arlington?
If it's 3 hours away or something, you're going 2 weeks early. That's a different story. You can go stay in the dorms and be like on site, or you're going to be in your normal facility and still stay at home.
Yeah, is he just going to go get some workouts in 2 weeks beforehand and do some meetings and everything?
I do believe it's a 3 hour drive away, yes. So.
That's awesome. He's locked in. I assume Andy Dalton.
Is anyone going to be there?
I think Andy will probably be joining him, right?
Yeah, why don't you talk?
Man, now does he have to go? He's like, man, I had like a whole vacation situation with the kids, and I guess I gotta go.
Yeah, I stayed after practice. We took him to dinner. I liked him. I like him a lot.
Come on.
2 weeks early? What the fuck is he? He won't be doing this next year. Hey, he won't be doing this the week after that either. But I like that for the Bears. Good for the Bears. Let's get to a break. We're back in 4 minutes, and then we will take some phone calls. 1-833-4-McAfee. We're back in 4 minutes. Cheers. the MCDC name tag then? Because it's a long time. ACDC. Do you hate it? Do you love it? I feel like we potentially offended you after finding out you're a diehard Metallica guy and we call you MCDC.
No. Listen, I love classic rock as well. I don't strike you as a numbers guy.
No, yeah. Yeah, whenever I heard you, I was just like, you know what? I'm not 100% sure this guy is just going to be listening strictly to the analytics guy. I just kind of a feel I had.
I got through addition and subtraction. Look, the alpha comment was really, I wasn't directing that just at myself. I was saying that's Brad too. Brad's an alpha. That's our coaching staff. I mean, let me say this about our coaching staff. One of the reasons I made the hires that I did with these guys, I know you'll probably end up asking this, was because just coming out of this COVID, I wanted to make sure we had more flexibility with the roster. And if these coaches need to play maybe a couple of games, so, not everybody's thinking that way.
Right, it seems like every 3-4 years the Lions get a new head coach. It seems like the rebuilding process has been happening my entire life. 26 years old and I've never seen a playoff win for the Detroit Lions. So I want to know how you and your coaching staff plans to make this one different.
Yeah, look, first of all, I think I love Foxy, man. I tell you what, I love the optimism that he brings. Look, I would say this, to me, the short answer is Sheila Ford Ham. If you want hope, she's the one who's bringing the hope. Because I had put serious thought into this as I was hiring my staff. I was thinking about hiring you to see if you would like to be, our special teams coach. And then I thought, you know what, I know you doing this radio, it softened you up a little bit. I chose not to. All right, I hate to say that, Pat. I needed to just let that be known.
Well, I want to let you know, true alphas know when to hang them up. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Campbell. What's the most beer you did in one night you think of one of those shows?
Well, I never forget when we went to Japan one time. Dudley, Stacy Keebler. I mean, there were so many people out there. I think we went through 103 or 108. Now, between just for myself, I'd always make sure to have about a 12 or 18 pack there. And, here's the thing when some people say, oh, shit, man, you got too much of that beer on you. You don't even know how to drink beer. It's like, dude, fuck you. You don't know what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to entertain 20,000 people in an arena. If I just go out there and sip it real properly, how fucking exciting is that? So when you're out there on an empty belly and you're shotgunning beers and all that shit's going in, the half that was going in was for me. The half that was going on was for them.
Nice.
But I'm telling you, Pat, when you shotgun a bunch of beers like that and you're drinking about half of each beer, you got a pretty damn good buzz when you come out. And that's a sacrifice I was willing to make every single night.
I would assume you were pretty fucked up, yeah. When did you start self-cheersing? When did you start self-cheersing? Was that something you did in college? You're like, hey, Steve, good for me, man. When did that start?
No, you know what? I got to give credit to Sandman for starting that, but he was bashing him off his head, and I don't remember, and it wasn't because Sandman was doing it, so I don't want to say I copied him, but he was the first. So, and then my style was, because people always get us confused. They'll say, yeah, man, you used to bang them on your head. No, motherfucker, I was the guy that clacked them together. It was just something we came up with. I don't even know how the beers got introduced to the ring, but it became a thing, and we ran with it.
Giving the old white guys something to complain about. It's the Pat McAfee Show.
This is DJ Griff, AJ. I went to high school with this guy. This guy's a music teacher, and he just sits in a lab. I mean, his kids probably don't watch his show. He probably gets so high and just makes these bangers.
It's incredible.
He's pumping out like 4 a week, it feels like, new bangers every single day.
So you had a previous relationship. Is he the music teacher at Plum right now?
No, he's inner city Pittsburgh, I think. He's a music teacher. He'll go viral every once in a while for like a dance video or something like that in his class. He has a good time. I think he's a great teacher, but man, these are bangers. He should be focusing on this.
Yeah.
I mean, the kids are good. They are the future. They are the world. but these are fucking smash hits.
Send these to Khaled.
Welcome back to the show. Okay, you said it. I did not know that DJ Khaled's performance at the TikTok YouTube fights went the way that it did until I saw something on the internet this morning. Do you know what happened to poor DJ Khaled when he went out there to try to perform a hit?
I have no idea. I do not. I'm unaware of all of this.
Okay, so TikTok YouTube fights, I believe there was like 6 of them or something like that. YouTube won. I think one TikToker won. It was a setup for a boxing match. It was on Fight, I think. There was an entire thing. It was awesome, okay? People are trying to make big events, profit off it, and provide incredible content. I respect it. I appreciate it. Getting DJ Khaled to perform, though, in theory, sounds great. Huge. This crowd was not about it. Run this thing.
All I do is win. Got money on my. And every time everybody is sweet or bad.
Nothing.
You think he's aware?
No, he's so. I mean, I assume at some point he heard nothing back and he was like, all right, I got to keep bringing it. I just assumed, by the way, like DJ Khaled, I assume DJ Khaled has run onto stages thousands and thousands of times. And as soon as All I Do Is Win comes on, I assume it just shuts the place down.
Yeah.
So in his head, he was like, all right, we'll do, play a song, get a song. And then, you know what, I'm taking the ring. And then we're doing All I Do Is Win, and cut the music. Let's have a DMX Rough Riders anthem at whatever the hell concert that was, whenever it was. We'll have one of those moments. And at one point, I wonder, as soon as they hit that music, he went out there and heard nothing. He was like, oh shit, what is going on? I think potentially, now, I don't know if this is true or not. I mean, I don't know. I heard Teddy Payne, T-Pain, the man who made that song, said that while making that song, he actually kicked DJ Khaled out of his studio. Mm-hmm. DJ Khaled came in, they collabed, they were making a song, T-Pain's in there, he's making wow noises into the thing like he used to with his auto-tune and everything like that. And DJ Khaled kept telling him, like, that ain't it. And Teddy Payne said, hey, get the hell out of the studio. Came back 2 hours later, All I Do Is Win, no matter what was made. Allegedly, this is a story. Is DJ Khaled, since that story came out just a little bit ago, in his first performance back since COVID, getting to hear T-Pain's version of that thing, is he cutting that song off because he doesn't want T-Pain in there? And is he just screaming his lines and he's expecting the crowd to do T-Pain? I'll tell you what, I hope it gets better for him, because if he's got to do that every night, it is going to be a long fucking ride for DJ Khaled.
Yeah, yikes. I mean, what do you think the people said to him when he got backstage?
Killed
and
it.
Saw that?
Yeah, killed it.
Lion, you killed it.
Another one.
By the way, that song is a smash. It's a banger.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
tough.
but you got to get a feel for the room to say,
What's he supposed to do?
Are these my people or not?
What's he supposed to do, though? He comes running out and he hears
You can't do it
nothing.
from the beginning. If you want to cut the music, cut it like halfway through the song or something. Have some plan in place.
I want to let you know, I am not a fan of the cutting the music completely. Okay, let the music run. You karaoke, let them karaoke, do your thing. But that's the amount of confidence that DJ Khaled had in that song. That is a song that bangs no matter when, no matter how, no matter where, unless you were at that particular arena, that particular venue, and it was bad. It was a bad night to be.
I'm not familiar with the platform. You're starting to get from. I figured All I Do Is Win is a big song on the TikTok.
Hey, remember, I was getting into that.
You done?
That's tough. It hasn't
It was a good run. It was a good run.
It hasn't made its way into my
daily routine.
Every time I go to
Mitt's
it,
not.
it's just Mitt's face, because he's the only person I follow on there. All right. Just Mitt's face. Literally, I click on that button, the T, I click on that app on my phone, and the next thing that happens, an eighth of a second later, is Mitt's face. And it's loud. It's not muted. It's coming in with sound. Immediately upon that, he's holding a golf club. That's what TikTok is to me. I don't know if they know that, but for me, that's been my experience. So
I hope everybody's TikTok experience is Mitt's face right when they open the app.
Yeah. It's a great app, man.
With Ty doing his impression.
That's not really. I mean, that is what it's like. Ty was trying to put you in the room there where it happened, but that's literally what it is. That's what TikTok has been to me. Their video editing thing is awesome. It seems like it's a super positive community too. I would absolutely love it. My experience just hasn't been great. I got to give it another shot, I guess, maybe, but it seems unlikely. Hour 3, a lot of phone calls, AJ. We got to do it. And we're giving away $25,000 and a golf cart. Woo. Watch at the beginning of the show. Next hour. Hour 3.
I need a new one. Can I buy the golf cart?
No, you might be able to win it, though, if you have the right fucking answer, pal. We'll see you in 6 minutes.
He might be dead. Come on. Come on.
Say it loud, ref. Ladies and gentlemen, with the match ending in the first round, your winner by technical knockout.
Thank you.
The red corner.
Woo! Fuck you, buddy. You too. We did it. We did it. Yeah. Listen, am I the greatest Oculus boxer of all time? Possibly. But getting punched in the actual face is much different than the fake shit. So I'll continue to go in here, battle against these jabrones, and keep it moving. I am tired though, even though it was quick. We are moments before going out onto the field and kicking some field goals to raise a crap ton of money for the kids. And I'm about to become an old man. I said I do this, then I do this, then I do this. Oh, Kazi. Oh my God. You want a little bit of that grandpa. Hey, you see, you go, and then, I'm just so excited we can raise some money because that's what we're here for. What's going on? Hey, hey, hey. It is hard to see down. I'm a cool grandpa. There's no way I lived this long in real life.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for our contestant and cheer him on as he attempts to raise $70,000 for cancer research. On your mark, get set, go!
I've been a fan of the Colts since the Mayflower came from Baltimore.
I don't know, sir. You sound a little familiar.
This is the greatest city on earth. And ladies and gentlemen, it was my honor to raise $70,000 for cancer research. Sorry, I missed a couple. I'm an old man. Let's go. Let's
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Pat McAfee and $70,000 towards cancer research. Go Colts!
And the ball's leaning back. See, like we're different He's got a hammer.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we could talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to that show, Hour 3, with a lot to still talk about alongside AJ Hawk and the Hammer Down Boys. Toxic Table and the boys in the back will begin immediately following this beat drop right there. Woo. AJ, welcome back. Can't stress enough how much we missed you, buddy.
Good to have you back, AJ. Thank you, AJ.
Thanks for going to that cult, raising a bunch of money, but it's great to have you back. AJ, some things have happened in sports that we talk a lot about, okay? Sports that you and I, people are thinking to themselves, I want to hear.
Shinigami?
Okay, so Shinigami, I'm not sure what he's up to, but if you want to go down that vein of names, Shohei Ohtani is leading the bigs in home runs with 23. He's officially in the home run derby out there in Denver, the marijuana smoking beautiful city that is hosting the All-Star game. I assume he's going to hit 700 home runs that night.
Yeah.
We gave away 6 tickets to that already alongside SeatGeek. I believe we're going to try to go. This guy's pitching. He's leading the bigs in home runs. This is the greatest player to ever play baseball. Now, because my background in the sport, in America's pastime, is only as deep as one Frontier League game where I was starting right fielder, looking out from home. It's right.
Yep.
Okay, so stage right, looking out from home plate. I started at right field, played 7 innings, on base percentage 333, no big deal. How you doing? Keep it moving on the net. Don't watch a lot. I'm from Pittsburgh. The Pirates stink. Sell the fucking team. But with that being said, as soon as I got my eyes on this guy, pitching 100 and hitting the ball faster than everybody else, is this the baseball cheat code? It feels like it is. Ty, you've been a representative for the baseball community since the beginning on this whole thing, telling me to cool it, calm down. Babe Ruth did this. This isn't. Now, granted, Babe Ruth is talked about as the greatest player of all time. If this is the next Babe Ruth, what are we even talking about at this point? Have you guys been sold on the fact that he's the GOAT or what in the baseball world?
He is unbelievable.
Okay.
He just had maybe like one of the most impressive weeks in the history of baseball. I think he hit 6 homers and got a win through 7 innings, struck out several guys. This is the first time in a long time I've been excited to watch the home run derby because I think he is going to hit some fucking bombs. But then there's also...
Bro, he's slapping homers at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Center field, just slapping them out.
We'll see what happens, too, though, because a lot of times what they'll say is, like, these big sluggers will go into the home run derby, hit a bunch of homers, and then it kind of, like, alters their swing for the second half of the season, and guys tend to struggle.
Hey, isn't that kind of the propaganda to push against players doing the home run derby?
Yeah, probably.
They said it about the dunk contest too. They're like, well, guys get in there, they start changing up how the way they're shooting in the 3-point shooting contest, and it'll affect them long term. Is this really going to affect them? Is this something that
I don't know how?
All he does is hit bombs.
I don't think you hear too many arguments that people are changing their shooting motion because they do the 3-point contest. But what Ty is saying, yes, that absolutely has been talked about in the past.
What, the baseball thing? That's all a lie, so that we don't have to see the good guys play. What are we doing? Bryce Harper with his hair flipped.
Hey, I'm with you. I think all the stars should they should pay them a bunch of money where they almost have to do it. Where it's like, hey, this would be stupid for me to not join the home run derby.
This is just like the skills contest for the Pro Bowl. Offer up real prizes. Okay, this is going to make great content. You're going to get great ratings. You can get a sponsor, a partner to be a part of this. Give $1 million to the winner of the home run derby with give an actual thing. And now everybody's like, they already get paid enough. They should want to just give back to the game. It's like, I agree, that's cool. But if somebody's making money, shouldn't the people that are doing the thing make the real money? I just think if you want somebody in there, put a real prize, just like the quarterback challenge the NFL used to have. Like if we want that, let's put real money in there and then let's see some things happen, as opposed to just expecting people to do it for free. It's like, why not let them just go ahead and maybe they'll risk a little bit more injury if there's a 7-figure payday at the end. And by the way, this will be electrifying for everybody, and you have money in abundance. We all know it because we can just Google your fucking net worth at this point.
Well, and like the NFL and the NBA, like they have multiple events on these things. Like the home run derby is like the outside of the game. I mean, you have like the celebrity softball game, but that's kind of run its course. Like the home run derby is like the center of that weekend. So like you really should want to incentivize guys and juice it up because it's the biggest. I mean, it's the biggest thing they have outside of the game.
Ty, obviously, I watch every single year.
Yeah.
What's that sound? You all right?
You watch what? You watch the home run derby every single year?
Every year, yeah.
Who won last year?
Bryce Harper, dude, was in D.C. Did it for the town.
That was last year, really?
No, it was 2 years ago. COVID took away the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you. I think I was right. Hey, I think I was actually right there. I think I was. His dad was throwing to him.
You were 1 year off.
God, fuck!
I remember.
Pete Alonso
I remember
won
when
last
Josh
one.
Hamilton battled that year. Ty, I'm sure you know.
I don't remember.
10 years ago.
Yeah,
it
was
Hamilton,
at Yankee Stadium.
mashed
He was
the ball,
hitting it, 525 feet, hit like 20-some homers in the first round.
Anyways, did that become like the dunk contest where it used to be all the big-time hitters and then for some reason guys stopped resting and then now are they trying to get guys back?
Yeah, kind of, and I think just guys who like Giancarlo Stanton should 1,000% be in it, but he's like kind of always injured a little bit, so he'll never do it. Like guys who maybe are, just.
I don't want to risk it for the rest of the season to be.
We should ask Jet sometime. I'm sure Jet knows exactly how the players feel about doing the home run derby.
Hey, and there's no more RPMs, right? There's no more RPMs.
Seems like the guys will do it when, like the big guys will do it at least once in their career. They'll do it once or twice, and then they stop doing it.
Hey, yo.
It's hard, man. It's hard. They want to get in and win. It's like the dunk contest, though. If you're a star like LeBron, why would you do it other than you've done it in the past when you're younger, maybe just to have fun? But it's really, really tough to win.
Because those moments are legendary.
I mean, it's awesome. Yeah, but it's how tough. Like if you're a 12-year vet in the NBA,
going like this,
you're probably thinking, I need some rest. Right? I don't need to do this.
Yeah, and it's I don't know.
But if Shohei does it and Vlad Jr. does it and Tatis does it, like that's good enough for this.
What about Trout? Is Mike Trout in?
Trout, no, he's hurt.
No answer from Jet.
Why isn't Major League Baseball pubbing Ohtani more? Or am I missing it?
No, they are.
They do as much as they can.
He's everywhere.
Man, I guess I don't pay enough attention.
Baseball's nowhere.
Because they're not winning, right? They don't have a great record.
Yeah, they kind of stink.
Hey, he is being promoted, but it's like it's still baseball promoted. It's like hockey. Shit's dead. I'm pulling for him. Hey, Shohei could potentially do it. He's going to be a Yankee at some point.
Hopefully.
He's going to be a stud. It's going to grow the game, hopefully. He's electrifying, too. Celebrates. Seems like he has a great relationship. He put out that highlight video basically to say he's doing a home run derby. I think he gets it. He'll be fantastic. Trevor Bauer, Power Hour's got a little swag. The young guy, Tatis, and there's some other. There's
Vladdy
it feels like there is a generation that might put baseball on their back and hopefully bring it back. I'm hoping for it. It won't help whenever you got 95-year-olds managing teams for the White Sox that are telling everybody to stop playing fun baseball.
True. And when their season wraps up, it does happen to be the NFL season, so a lot of eyes kind of shift away from the MLB.
Hey, there ain't nothing like baseball in October, though.
Yeah, true.
Right.
I mean, I'd much rather play in June or July, maybe when it's 900 degrees, instead of having snow flurries when I'm out there.
Yeah, but Mr. October can only be born in, guess what? OVO, October's very own, pal. You can't be born in June and be Mr. October, pal. That's when it all matters. That's when Joe Buck's flying around the country calling every single sport on earth. That is when baseball is baseball. And I'll tell you what, in October, I can't wait to see it. Hey, show how wearing pinstripes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
AJ, didn't you say that you boycotted baseball after the Reds got rid of Tom Brenneman? I mean, I know that's your favorite team. I'm pretty sure you said that, didn't you?
Absolutely not, Ty. Do not put words in my mouth. I have been with the Reds through thick and thin. Chris Sabo, Todd Benzinger. I think we talked to Sean Casey about that at one point.
Pete Rose.
My favorite, Barry Larkin. Are you kidding me? They have some stuff.
I'll tell you what, Castellanos has been hitting a lot of deep flies to left, though.
Ken Griffey Jr.
Yes.
I have no idea what the fuck a Castellanos is.
Dion was driving by Castellanos.
Huh? Oh.
Not sure if I'll be back after the break, but
that you might have heard my last call.
I don't know if I'll put this headset on again.
Hey, Pat, did you really not know where right field was?
I didn't know if it was stage right or crowd right, dude. I didn't know. I honestly had no idea. I mean, how would you?
Amazing. And I heard you also made your first DoorDash delivery?
Yeah, but it was 4 hours late. I did the whole thing myself, though. It was pretty cool.
Put that in the oven? Or would you do that?
DoorDash yourself? That's amazing. You could do that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So difficult.
It is. It is.
Are you gotten to that point where you just can't relate to humans anymore?
No, but my wife is unbelievable. It's like by the time I'm home, she had already done something awesome. She's incredible. And I feel like there's an algorithm where her particular DoorDash, like Netflix or anything else, knows what we potentially want.
Yeah.
She crushes it. I'm very thankful. Every time she does it, I say, thank you so much for that. And when we're on the road, Foxy had to learn how to do it. And Foxy does it out of nowhere because normally we're going from somewhere. Foxy's chilling. Hey, starving. Can we do this? Yep. Boom, boom. So this is the first time it was just me and my thoughts and DoorDash. Had to learn what the address was into the house that I was in. When walking around the house, didn't know that one, so I just kind of dropped a pin. But yeah, it was 4 hours late. The delivery app went down. I mean, got some cold pretzels, but it was fucking delicious. And I tipped well. I did the good tip. I don't like that you have to tip beforehand.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Exactly, because you're setting yourself up for a situation that you were just in.
4 hours late. Wasn't the driver's fault, but I still tipped very well. And they were very nice, obviously. They were going to scale the...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
To get in the gate?
Yeah, I saw him standing outside, like about to do it, and I was like, whoa, I'll text it. I will open that. I will open it. I thought we were going to have Spider-Man in that thing. I was pretty excited. But yeah, I mean, it was a big weekend for me, dude. Walked the golf course, ordered some DoorDash, called Hell in a Cell. Standard shit, just, you know.
It is a big weekend, man. And you were all by yourself in that big old house?
Yeah, the house is not as big as it appears.
Not a big old house, yeah.
On the internet. We did get catfished a little bit, but the view is beautiful. Hey, the view is beautiful. That is fantastic. We got hustle a little bit. Pool's dirty. I hopped in that thing. It hasn't been cleaned in weeks. It's supposed to, we've been paying for that service. It has not been cleaned in weeks. They know that we don't come down but once a day or once a week or whatever. I hopped in there, immediately had an entire coating on me. I was like, what is this? Then I shower. And then the next day, I take a look at the pool, and it was like, oh, that is brown water.
Disgusting.
Yeah, it's bad. It's like the pool in the Social Network, you know, in the back there.
Not to mention, we were told a month ago the golf cart will be operational. And
yeah, I couldn't even ride into town.
It has.
Oh, yeah?
I couldn't even ride into town on the golf cart because the golf cart only has 3 wheels still. So, I mean, I was slumming it this weekend, dude.
Decent amount of dead roaches in there as well.
A couple cockroaches, and I had a good day. I stepped on one while I was Oculus boxing.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I was working out a little bit. Threw a heavy hand Friday night. Landed right on a cockroach.
Ooh.
Killed a guy in the Oculus. Killed a bug with my foot.
You go against D-Butt yet?
I don't think we can. I think the next version of Throw of the Fight, we can fight again. Have you got in there yet? D-Butt's been in there. I was still in there. Have you decided to pick that up? Because you will get embarrassed when that thing is upgraded to us being able to fight against each other, I think. I just want to, it's not because because I'm a better fighter than you. It's because I'm in there sharpening the axe basically every night. I seen D-Butt go. That guy can move. He's going the distance, though, with old Petrov in front of 5 people. That couldn't be me. Couldn't be me, AJ. Have you been getting...
I don't want to fight D-Butt. He can, you know, his cardio is off the charts. But for you, I could absolutely just sit there and let you tire yourself out, and then I would just pour it on. I don't need to sharpen the tools I have right now because I know that's all I need to do for you. You'll come out hot, big adrenaline dump. Oh, AJ. Where is Pat? He cannot avoid any of these punches.
Adrenaline dump. Okay, all I'm in is adrenaline situations. There ain't no dumping, pal. Okay, they're always up there. All right, and this jaw that you have in real life that has got you through a tooth of yours being just absolutely obliterated without getting a concussion somehow, by the way, because they say concussions are actually sometimes caused by
Who's they?
Doctors. Will Smith, whenever
Will Smith.
I'm going to tell the truth real quick, and you're going to hate to hear it, pal. Tell the truth. I will. They say that's why the mouthpiece is the thing, because when your jaw hits each other, there's a chance that's going to rattle your brain, give you a concussion. You're anti-mouthpiece. You obliterate a goddamn tooth. Oh. You were playing in the fullback power football era in the NFC North, running your face into other humans' faces on a regular basis with the Cobra Strike. No documented concussions or knockouts or anything like that. Very impressive. Hey,
unbelievable.
Woo! Unbelievable jaw on this guy. Hey, this guy.
Very lucky. I'm very lucky.
You're okay, right. Very lucky. Whatever. You got a thick skull, whatever the case is. You protect your brain good. That ain't going to help you in the Oculus, pal. Mm-mm. Okay, because in the Oculus, your jaw in there hasn't been tested. And guess what? This guy knows right where to land. Okay, it's a button finder. You see it? This thing is a button-seeking fucking weapon right here, pal. And it's been trained and it's been ready to go. I can't knock you out in real life, but in that Oculus, AJ, sleep, cuz early. I might even give you a fucking liver. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I'm on the bag in there. I don't think you want. I told Darius this. I'm like, Darius, there's a dummy in there that you punt. It actually has sensors on the human that like you can really get going, and it tells you the percentage of force that you've done or damage that you've done or whatever. And as soon as you find the sternum, beep, and then jaw, beep, it's over. Your Oculus guy's dead before you even got a chance to see if my cardio is worth a fuck, which it isn't. I'm Mike Tyson. We're here for a quick time, not a long time.
No, it's tiring. Believe me, it's been months since I have done that. But why don't you go and actually work on a real heavy bag or do like a speed bag? Why don't you do something like that? If you're going to do the training in the Oculus, you might as well do it in real life.
Well, I punched the shit out of this bag out here.
Just doing it.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It does carry over, by the way, it seems. But boy, it hurt my hands.
Really? Yeah, you got to have wraps.
Yeah, you got to take my hands.
Yeah. Chew up your knuckles.
When I'm just holding those Oculus things, you know what I mean? It's pretty nice because I feel a little vibrate, but boy, ain't no fingers potentially getting jammed.
Yeah, feel good.
Ain't none of that. It's much better to be boxing in virtual reality. I don't know what everybody else is doing. I love it in there. I don't think you'll see me out of there anymore, but I'm in there if you need it. And you're going to get embarrassed, I think, dude. D-Butt's putting in rounds right now.
Maybe. Hey, just like Chad Johnson said, he inspired me after his fight. Like, you got to be able to put yourself out there and not be scared to get knocked out.
All right, let's go to some phone calls.
You see, Anderson Silva won a boxing match against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.?
Yeah, and he looked awesome, too. He was doing a little showmanship there at the end. Ariel Helwani was tweeting about that and posting on Instagram about how awesome it was. I seen the Spider in Las Vegas at one UFC fight. Okay, he was fighting against another Brazilian. I don't know the name. Full Brazilian crowd. I was sitting a couple rows in front of Donovan McNabb. Ooh. No big deal.
Let's go.
Rode some coattails to some pretty good seats for these people to beat the fuck out of each other, but it was electrifying in there because it was two Brazilians as the main event. I forget who it was, and Silver was one. They were dancing around for like a minute and a half, 2 minutes. They were getting a bit anxious in the arena. Mm-hmm. He just fucking punted a dude right in the fucking head, dead. Guy was dead. It was just a dance around, nothing. Pow, dead. And it was like the place erupted. I was like, that's the most awesome thing of all time. Then he broke his leg, I think, on a leg kick. Uh-huh. Then he came back and the whole thing. What a stud. But yeah, I like to see him boxing. Everybody seems like a lot of people are getting into boxing. I'm telling you, just put on
man. You'd be a hot commodity if you jumped into that celebrity boxing. We had the TikTok, YouTube thing that DJ Khaled was there.
Crushed.
You could really set this up, man.
Well, I respect.
Just do one. Who cares? Like you can't get that hurt if you do one fight. No headgear.
I don't want to get booty up in the air, dude. Like, that is not something I want to be a part of. Because like I'm okay. Like my body's not sore. You know what I mean? The knees feel good.
Well, you were very sore and you cramped up on Saturday night because you golfed.
True. 7 miles is a long way. I ain't fucking walking that far. Right?
Imagine carrying your bag that whole time.
Oh, Tony, my guy. Hey, Tony.
Thank you, Tony.
I was right here the entire time, too, right behind me. Hey, same swing. Don't try to lift it. Come on. Let's fucking hit this thing.
Take it right out of your pocket.
He wasn't telling me that. He was telling me. He was not there. I don't think I
Did you tell him that? You tell him you're completing a swing change right now? How you bring it right out of your pocket? He probably looked at you.
He kept telling me he was like, you're trying to do what the club's supposed to do. You keep trying to dig. Stop trying to dig that. I'm like, oh, it's coming out a little bit. You know what I mean? He's like, stay tall. He was like giving me like full lesson. And then I would hit a good one. He's grab the club.
See? Yeah.
It was like it was like a very cool relationship that I've never had with somebody before like that.
I would imagine he has caddied for think of the people he's caddied for. If he's been there for 20 years, I think you said that dude's probably caddied for presidents down there.
I do believe that is an accurate heads of state. I believe potentially, not just
probably Epstein, probably all kinds of people.
Oh, your buddy.
All right, let's get to a break.
You're not that far, right? Your beach house?
What's your problem?
I don't have a problem. Do you?
What is your problem?
With what?
Just what you had to do there. I mean, we got some breaking news. We got to get away from what you just brought up. There's no reason for that. Show's doing good. It's Good Monday. There's nothing to talk about. We got a good Monday. Here's a couple things to talk about. How about the Philadelphia Sixers? I almost said Eagles.
Flowers.
Soul. John Bon Jovi's team, the Soul.
Not the Soul, but boy, the Sixers are in a spot right now. I can't wait to dive into that about Simmons. I love Trae Young. Love everything about what that guy's doing. What's his name? Carter?
Yeah, Herder.
Big
Gavin.
White. That kid's a fucking baller. I mean, there's a lot going on in the NBA. Suns and 4 guys back at it. A little gladiator feel. But I guess Eli Manning's doing some stuff too. We got some Manning news. We got some basketball news. We got some phone calls. I didn't know we were going to break the news right now, but we will, I guess. Let's zoom in on that. Turn the music off here. Breaking news in the NFL world. The New York Giants are posting that the Eli Manning is back home. Eli Manning has rejoined the organization in a business ops and fan engagement role. Plus, we've set the date for the jersey retirement and Ring of Honor. Congrats, Eli Manning.
Hey, go Eli.
Getting back in the building. I don't know what particular old white's standing next to him, but together in blue yet again, Eli and the Giants franchise. You remember he and Danny Dimes in that young offense had a good relationship off the field. On the field, it was obviously a little bit uncomfortable. He went through who was the Irish guy from McAdoo, benches him and puts in Geno Smith, and then he comes back in, and then Danny Dimes shows up. It's a very interesting relationship there at the end. Ultimately, they make it right. Eli Manning coming back doing some business and fan engagement. Hopefully, there'll be some more red hot tweets or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Eli and a Manning in the building should be good. I'm excited for it. Congrats to Eli and congrats to the Giants.
What a great gig. He's like a consultant. That's everyone's dream, to be a consultant where you come in for a couple of days to some business and they pay you a ton of money and then you fly home. I mean, Eli gets to stay involved with fan engagement and business ops. So either he's just going to be happy doing that and being like, getting able to stay involved and, hey, maybe show up for a few golf outings, things like that. Or this is just his path to try to eventually be like a GM if he wants to be a front office person.
Everybody has always assumed that the Mannings want to run a team, you know.
All of them together, you think?
That's always been a conversation that has happened, you know. It's kind of lingered, and I think at this point they're almost at the point where they could afford to do that if they had to, and I think they
should do it, man. Yeah, some big time guy should back them. Some big time group and have, hey, you guys are you're gonna run the team.
It would be incredible, I think, and I don't know if that's a lot of also work that they would. I don't know. Yeah. I haven't talked to the Manning bunch in some time, so I have no idea, but there was always the conversation around him, never from them, but it was like, they're going to run a team, they're going to run something one day. And you assume because that family has been in the NFL for a long time. I mean, Eli and Peyton, and even Cooper, they were, kind of groomed to be NFL players since they were children with Archie. And then you remember the decision that was made on draft night and everything that's kind of happened since then. You assume they'll get into running a team, but maybe Eli will get a little taste of it here, report back, and be like, yeah, it's actually not that bad. The business side, got some dumb decisions being made here, some good decisions here. Maybe we can do it. Who knows? It's good news. Also, I'm not saying this is happening here, but isn't this a great way to run a salary cap? Not that Eli did this. I'm not saying that at all. I would like to go on the record heavily and say I don't think this is what happened. But couldn't we, as a team, let's say we run a team. We have Patrick Mahomes. He likes us. We like him. Okay, we like each other. We trust each other. We're building a team. Couldn't you just do like a behind the curtain, behind closed doors conversation where it's like, hey, we'll give you the fucking percentage of the team. We'll give you $200 million whenever you're done. Now, that would have to be a lot of trust, would have to be instilled in the two. And I'm not saying this is what happened with the Giants at all. I'm just saying, is that something you could do where you're like, we'll give you a job afterwards for 10 years. You'll get a $20 million a year contract salary. You won't have to do anything except for a couple waiving things. Doesn't that kind of pawn off everything? The amount of trust would have to be huge. Huge. We're talking massive there on both sides, especially from player to team side. But I wonder why that hasn't been something that has kind of started to happen.
I mean, I wonder if that has happened in the past. I think back in the day when Pete Rose was a free agent, teams were offering him a piece of the team if he came there. I know he was like a player/manager for a little bit, which was the greatest thing ever when he's the coach and the player. He comes off, he comes out, and he brings in pitching changes like from first base. Like, it's amazing watching it. I've seen the clips.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Anytime you're the Jackie Moon of a franchise, there's obviously something popping off. But when you're also the Anthony DeGilio of the franchise too, that's a potential problem, especially when those two combine. Pete Rose, I think he learned his lesson, has moved on for that whole thing. But the difference between baseball and football is the salary cap, right? How would they justify that as a salary cap? It would have to be a very much behind closed doors. Nobody would have to know about that, right? The NFL couldn't know about it. Nobody else in the NFL
they couldn't write up a contract either or a letter of intent. They wouldn't be able to do that, would they? That seems like then someone would find it eventually.
So that'd be impossible then.
Yeah, so you just have to. It'd be a handshake deal.
Yeah.
Hey, I hope the GM is the same. I hope the same owner. 10 years from now, when I'm owed all this money, or you say I'm going to have this position.
It's crazy, right? Because what if you? Now, I'm not saying this is happening, but allegedly the Spanos family is losing the team. There's a little bit of a disgruntled sibling situation going on with the ownership of the Chargers. Imagine that deal being made with the ownership, and then on the day they sell the team and get billions, by the way. They're going to get billions of dollars. Yeah. They go to that guy, thanks for playing for nothing. Yeah. See you later. You're going to have to decide with that whole thing. Well, we had a deal. Where? Show me where the paper is. That's like classic documentary stuff, which is probably why it'll never happen, but I mean, you got to dance around that salary cap. Josh Allen is allegedly about to get paid one of the highest contracts in the history of the NFL. Of course, he's the next guy up. The amount of improvement that he has shown from year 1 to year 2 to year 3 with how good that team is in that division, which got a lot better this offseason with the amount of money Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick spent, but still seems like it's their division. They got a great squad. Who knows about how many players are going to be vaccinated on that team? Right. And the stadium is opened up now to vaccinated and non-vaccinated people this particular fall. Buffalo said it's all good. Indianapolis still not open, by the way. Yikes. Lucas Oil Stadium still not okayed for full capacity this fall. Maybe someday, though. Buffalo in New York says vaccinated, non-vaccinated, whoever, we want you in here jumping off RVs. But with that being said, Josh Allen is going to get probably one of them 10-year deals, just like Patrick Mahomes got, and they'll be able to move either salaries, contracts into signing bonuses or kick things down the road. They're going to put that team into the ability, a gelacial situation.
Ooh, gelatinous?
Fuck. A gelatinous salary cap that they'll be able to move because his contract will probably make up a large portion of it for a long time. You got to find that if you're an organization, the Chiefs found Patrick Mahomes, like, all right, hey, listen, 10 years here, we're going to be able to move. This is the amount of money you're going to get. Josh Allen in Buffalo feels like that's going to happen. And good for them being able to figure that out. Bad for everybody else in the AFC East. But that sounds like a great thing for Josh Allen out there.
You think it'll be the Pat Mahomes 10-year deal when he says that he's willing to structure it so that they can stay competitive? That's all it means. It's going to be a longer-term contract. He's not going to sign a 4-year deal.
That is definitely what they're going to do. I think it's going to be
hopefully he has some outs though. Is he 100% confident that he's going to be in Buffalo for 10 more years? Do you think he has some outs after 3 or 4 where, hey, I can get out of here if I need to?
That's the thing, is it's so much trust. It's like you just got to trust that you're going to work out, that you're going to like each other. Taysom Hill, 4 years, $160 million. Hey, we'll figure it out. We'll do this whole thing. We can't renegotiate until we're up to 40. And by the way, I think they were doing that because if he does become their starting quarterback and he's unbelievable and they have to sign him, they're not going to pay him $40 million a year, but they're going to pay him a shit ton if he's a starter. So it's just wild the way the salary cap does not matter, and Josh Allen's going to prove that. I assume Lamar Jackson will in Baltimore as well. I just hope, I wish maybe, Chris Ballard started doing a little bit of that. Sure. He's honorable, man. He said, I'm playing these games. I don't do loopholes. Okay. I like to beat them fair and square with our boys that we built around here. And I'm like, I respect it. But are the Colts the team that Tom Brady was talking about in this barbershop clip where he said a team was interested all the way till the end, and then it actually made him think You're going to stick with that motherfucker instead of me, is what Tom Brady allegedly said on the bar. He definitely said it, but we just saw the clip of it. That full interview is going to be fantastic. Kid Cudi's in there, by the way. Can't wait for that. I was a big Cudi fan for a long time. Stopped smoking weed, stopped making bangers, got back on the tree, started making bangers again. Big Cudi fan. He's in there. I love that show. I wonder what team that was. I really do wonder what team it. Maybe it's San Fran.
You can try to narrow it down, I would imagine, but thank you for mentioning
Bears.
Kid Cudi. I was aware of him from Met retweeting when he says, I think Kid Cudi said weed is good, and it was retweeted by Met.
Well,
Baby Met.
Good tweet.
At one point, Kid Cudi said weed wasn't good.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And that became
I
a
guess
big
Mitt,
story about
Mitt
it.
was letting people like me know that he's back. There,
I want to let you know, that was quite a shot across the bow for my relationship with Cudi. I want to let you know. I was like, dude, what are you doing? You were literally making songs strictly for me. And then all of a sudden it came out, it's not, I can't do it anymore, it's bad. And I'm like, what happened, dude? I'm sorry you had a terrible high one time.
Scotty, come
Come on,
on.
we need you back in here, Cud. We need you. And then he got back in, it's like, thank God.
Yes.
Need you, kid. Need you, Kid Cudi. There's no other bangers coming. We appreciated Tom Brady, though. I wonder who was he talking about Phil Rivers?
I would assume he has a good relationship with Phil, but man, Indy is definitely one of the teams where it could have been. There's a very real possibility it was Indy.
Let's get to a break. This is the Pat McAfee Show. We'll answer some phone calls on the other side. And the first clue for our giveaway, what you need to do is it going to be here or is it going to be over there? It's going to be over there. Okay. What you need to do is you need to write down the words that are going on the screen right now. The best day, okay? This is the beginning of a sentence that you will have to complete on Twitter using the hashtag PMS100K giveaway week. Woo! This is just the first 3 words of a 3-installment sentence that will unfold over the next 28 minutes. Here at youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show, we'll be giving away $25,000 and also a golf cart too. 2 winners today. We can't wait for that whole moment. Write down the sentence. You'll have to finish it and then you'll have to tweet it. We can't thank you enough. We're back in 4 minutes with some phone calls. The COVID cowboy might ride again into Hammer Down Land for us as well. This is The Pat McAfee Show, Monday, June 21st.
Today's event is me versus a Carolina Reaper pepper. A pepper that has what?
2.2 million Scoville on average. I think it's pretty much the hottest pepper in the world.
In comparison, a jalapeno is
6,000 Scoville.
For every second after it is in my mouth, I don't grab this milk. We'll give $25 to a random person in the comment section right now. $4,500 feels like a good amount to give away, though. And that'd be 3 minutes. This is going to be a long 3 minutes.
That's redder than devil's dick. That crunch. How we doing so far? Doesn't look too bad.
I should have taken a drink of water beforehand, though, because I think I had a dry mouth. I had a little cotton mouth. Oh.
Oh, okay. Once the hiccups start, I think you're just about done for. What's your biggest regret in life? Do you have 2 more minutes in you?
I think it's just starting to hit like the peak. The curve on this thing is just starting to go up.
You are handling this much better than Bill did, though. You are, yeah. Billy Tubes was puking 10 seconds in. 130. 130.
It's burning my esophagus.
Do you feel like you're going to puke?
Oh, I do.
And that milk looks ice cold, too.
No!
Beer that broke my heart. Hey, one more.
I'm getting lightheaded now.
Yep. Now we go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Dance with me.
How you feel now?
A little bit better, but not great. Oh my God. That's a bad idea. I need more.
More milk.
Oh God, God.
Yikes.
Pretty big breaking news.
Oh, no.
What's that? Oh, he got God. Oh, he got God. He got God. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Tony. Gordon Schefter. We got to get to a goddamn break. Can't happen. Oh, can't win with it. No. Everything I just said was wrong.
It would have been cool though if it was
Yeah, it would have been cool, wouldn't it?
Diggs just got a darn Schefter.
Oh my
It was at Ultra Weed Hater.
He got Cockiner. What was it doing on my timeline?
Bro, McCockner's just jujuing on me.
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. We thank you for taking the time to seek out this small regional show that streams internationally. Here's Pat and the boys.
Welcome back to that show. Summer is here and is coming. Are you ready to unveil your beach bod? Because you're in luck. Our friends at Manscaped just launched their 4th generation performance package, which includes the Lawnmower 4.0. The sun is shining and calling your name, fellas. Join the 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and get ready for Hot Guy Summer. Get 20% off and free shipping by going to manscaped.com/Pat. That's manscaped.com/PAT. It's time to bundle up with Manscaped Performance Package 4.0. Inside this package, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, Performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold all your goodies. First off, the new Performance Package 4.0 includes the new Lawnmower 4.0. This trimmer is insane, and I dare say the GOAT of all ball trimmers.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, I said it. I'm only 2 sentences into this 10-sentence read. Buckle up. There's more to learn. Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts to their Performance Package 4.0, the Manscaped Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag. Bring your comfort and boxers to a whole nother level. Yeah, it's everything you need in your life, honestly.
Best.
The Weed Whacker is unbelievable for the nose. The Lawnmower is just so smooth. The 4.0 generation has this. It has like a Hemi in it. There's lights in it.
Yeah.
It's an absolutely beautiful thing. Right now, go to manscaped.com. Get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com/Pat. That's 20% off and free shipping. Escape the shrubs and weeds this summer and shine with Manscaped. Shout out to Manscaped.
Hell yeah. Shout out. Bruce did chop some of that down too.
No way.
Yeah, that's
So it had to be 2 pages.
Yeah.
I understand Manscaped's got a lot to like, okay? You got a lot of really good stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm not fucking Billy Shakespeare. Okay?
Come on.
I'm not Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'm not reading a goddamn play out here for this whole thing. It's got 4 acts in this motherfucker. I'm reading Hamilton.
Ridiculous.
Okay? I want to be in my balls where it happened. My balls where it happened. Lawnmower 4.0. It is awesome. These are awesome things. And I appreciate the fact that Manscaped has grown so much that they have so many awesome things. And it's tough to explain everything that's fantastic. And they give it a good 2-3 sentences because that's what it deserves. But God damn it, this ain't a reading by Pat here.
Wild.
I can't read. Manscaped.com/Pat. 20% off and free shipping.
Candidates
Guy
did get the
Summer.
memo.
I didn't know.
Hot Guy Summer, dude. Come on. You rude boy.
Stealing it from Chet. aren't they?
Again.
No, it's White Boy Summer.
Yeah.
Which comes after Hot Girl Summer.
How's that turning out for him?
For Chet,
Another
Yeah.
banger's coming out soon. He's been teasing it.
Chet has lived an incredible life, I think, since the day he popped out. So
I'd say so.
Chet Hanks' summer is always good. I think every single summer he's had has been fantastic. I think every day of his life is a potential summer. Shout out to Chet Hanks taking advantage of it and doing a rap out there, rude boy.
He's pushing Zoom, face-to-face Zoom with him for $500 for 15 minutes.
Oh, that's new Cameos.
Hell yeah.
Cameos, do a one-on-one with me here.
Is he like writing music for you?
All right, I'm fucking done talking about Chet. I tried to move on to why I hate this guy. This guy is the worst, right? This is the picture of everything that's bad, basically.
I mean, yeah. White privilege to a T.
Bang.
Lucky Sperm Club.
Just thought you'd come out and write a diss track against us. I'm impressed by the way you rap. I want to let you know it's really good. You make bumbleclot bangers, rude boy. But get a couple of shotas on the track. No, I mean, it's Tom Hanks' kid, so I guess I don't know.
Wilson.
Anyways, let's go to Jay in San Antonio. What's going on, Jay?
How's it going, Pat and the boys?
I mean, AJ wanted to turn this into a full, and he's fresh out of this cult meeting, all right? And he wanted to take that into, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
He was trying to turn that into a full JFK. There was going to be
take it to a toxic place.
Yeah, he was. That's what he just leads with that one question. What is this guy about? Oh, what's going on here?
Too? I truly don't know much about Chet.
Bullshit. That's bullshit.
Okay? Young kids are what keep me up to date with what's going on in the world.
I want to let you know, I did miss you, okay, while you're at your cult retreat down there, all right? But that is something I did not miss, is the potential steering away from wildly toxic conversations.
Just don't do it.
All right, let's change. Season 2 starts this fall when football season starts. That's something we leave behind in season 1.
That's right.
Don't even make it a recurring guest either.
No.
That thing doesn't have a role here in this season. You know what I mean?
Time to evolve.
Don't you think, AJ?
Noted. Yes, I will make sure I try to improve.
What were you going to say about Tom Hanks, though? You had something to say about Tom Hanks?
Yeah,
He got COVID there.
Before you said you hated the guy, and I don't know.
I don't hate Tom. Whoa.
Slow down, Hawk. I know Connor has his strong feelings about Tom Hanks one way or the other, but I know Chet. I was wondering if you were.
Hey, this is how we're going to end up. We keep talking like this.
Yeah, we got to pipe down. I don't want my legs to get broken this week, AJ.
Chet's going to get you?
Not Chet. No, maybe Chet. I don't know.
Could be.
Could be a broken neck summer, rude.
Well, depends. Depends what they send.
What do you got, Jay?
Hey, so I was just wondering about the Denver Broncos and how John Elway still thinks that he's okay to have a job. I don't know how we didn't draft Justin Fields, because if we would have drafted Justin Fields, we could at least use that as a trading piece to get Aaron Rodgers over on the team. We didn't do that. We instead grabbed a defensive player. He might be looking like he's going to be our third string cornerback. So I'm not totally sure what John Elway is doing with that. And on top of that,
it's not John. It's not John. It's not John, Jay. John promoted himself out of that role.
Yes.
Yeah, he promoted himself out because he was doing such a bad job beforehand. I feel that he might still have a say with some of that stuff. But either way, I'm not totally sure how we did not go and get Justin Fields. And
we haven't seen Justin Fields play football yet in the NFL. Yeah. Justin Fields could be an incredible talent, but I think the Green Bay Packers would not necessarily trade for Justin Fields, especially with Jordan Love already being there. I can understand how you would want some trade bait potentially, and I know that was being talked about on draft night, and I assume the Denver Broncos really thought there was a chance they were going to get Aaron, because when there's smoke, there's fire. A lot of people say that they made their team better, not Jay, though. They said they stink. I didn't know John Elway was doing anything there, though. I thought he was done with that.
He has some kind of role there, right? I know he has a title, but he must just not have to be there as much. He probably has a lot better schedule is what I'm guessing.
He became that advisor thing that you were talking about.
Yeah, consultant. That's the dream gig. Be a consultant, man.
I think John Elway's consulting on things.
Yeah, George Patton seems to be the man, though. He's doing everything he can.
This is what I did. I went and got Peyton. Okay, so just something to think about. I'll consult.
I mean, news broke, but to say you would draft Justin Fields to possibly trade him in a deal to get Aaron Rodgers, Shefty broke the news the day of the draft. Do you think they worked that quickly? Hey, if we take Fields, we're going to use him as trade bait.
No, remember, accumulation of information. That was the entire thing. So I would assume.
So was Shefty, you think he was talking to these teams throughout these months of all of it accumulating and they all were aware?
I think there was, I don't know. I have no idea, because when you read the initial release on draft day from Schefter, it felt as if that was coming from a Packers source. Now, in the article, it said team and league sources have told me. He did not say that it was an accumulation at that time, but he said he has heard from people. I don't know. I heard the Denver Broncos, immediately that day. So I think people maybe thought that Broncos were trying to get in, maybe on it for a long time. I'm not 100% sure, but that might have been happening behind the scenes, and they were potentially interested, but Green Bay kept just shutting down the door or whatever. I have no idea how it worked out, but Denver probably knew they maybe had a shot earlier then, and they were allegedly in for Deshaun. They were allegedly potentially in for Russ. They were in for Teddy Bridgewater. Drew Lock's got to do his thing. He's training every single day, he said, this offseason, but I don't know. I don't know if they're settled yet. And I wonder if it is because John Elway told George, hey, the best way to win is just go fucking get a guy. Just give him the keys to the entire place and just say, do it. Do whatever you got to do. And maybe that's...
Think about the head coach, Vic Fangio. He saw up close and personal what Aaron could do when he was coaching in Chicago.
Yeah, and Chuck Pagano said that, tell Aaron this. He's one of the big parts why I'm fucking retiring.
Yeah.
Let's go to Johnny in Florida. What's going on, Johnny?
Said he'd die before letting him leave.
Hey, what's up, Pat? What's up, boys?
Hey, what's going on?
AJ.
What part of Florida are you in, Johnny?
I'm over here in Sunrise, man. Mitt put me down as Johnny, man. My name's Jonathan. Over here in Sunrise, Florida, down in South Florida.
All right, fuck you, Jonathan.
Nice. Have a good one.
Let's go to Matt in Ohio. Wow. By the way,
Matthew. What's up, Matthew?
Hey, there's a second.
Yo, what's going on? Pat and the boys. First off, I want to say I'm from Arlington Heights, so I think all of this stuff about the Bears moving there, complete bullshit. The roads are not ready. How are you going to bring fucking 50,000 people to a suburb like that? Anyways, that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to
They
talk
do it
about
in Green Bay and
right?
Foxborough. They do it everywhere else, man. I'm sorry, you're going to have a little bit more traffic at your stop sign, though.
I'm just saying, man, I don't think it's ready. I know they got, 3 years out.
What about
They got 3
roundabouts?
years out to get ready. Sorry?
You can build a roundabout.
Yeah, come on.
That's how they take care of traffic.
I don't know, man. The way that they've been building a highway for the past 10 years out there, they ain't getting nothing done.
Yeah, the NFL's coming. They'll get that done. Roundabouts.
We don't want roundabouts.
Some tolls. Lift up the sidewalk. Anyways, go ahead, Matt.
No, but anyways, what I want to talk about is Le'Veon Bell, right? This guy has had one of the biggest falls from grace, one of the fastest thing ever. This is absolutely incredible. Now, I don't know if you guys saw this, probably not caring about Le'Veon Bell nowadays, right? But he just tweeted out a peace sign. So is this guy retiring? What do you think? What's going on with Le'Veon?
Hey, you all right, Matthew? Is everything okay over there?
Yeah, what's going on?
Well, it sounded like you fell or you were in the middle of a tornado.
Dropped your phone?
Oh, no. In Bowling Green, Ohio, dude, it's fucking windy.
Hey, watch yourself. There's storms all over the Midwest right now. Thanks for the call. I don't remember exactly what he asked about Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell was a magic maker for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Then he rapped in his front yard. He's going to want 17 M's a year. Then he held out, went to Miami, released a couple albums, bangers, comes back, gets paid to the Jets, $30-some million guaranteed. That's an Adam Gase umbrella. Then he goes over to the Chiefs. He said what Andy Reid told him was disrespectful or whatever, so he said he won't play for him because of something personal that happened. I have no idea. I could just imagine that if you make a bunch of money and you're a running back, there's a chance that you could not want to get hit in the head or body anymore. I'm not saying that's the case, but maybe it is. I could understand it, but I'm not sure we're ever going to see Lev Bell be great again. I hope we do because he was electrifying, but I think those days are long gone as well. Just mentally checked out.
I mean, we'll see how healthy he is, I guess, if he can show that he is somewhat of what he once was. But did he say it was anything Andy Reid said? I thought he was just upset that he wasn't playing.
No, he said what Andy Reid said to him, his personal conversation is why he felt disrespected. That's what he said. And I wonder if it was Andy Reid telling him, I don't know. I'm not going to speculate, but he said it was something. Do you remember he used to just get the ball and would just sit like this and even have his hands on the back of somebody, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, poof, gone, 15 yards. I remember Chuck Pagano doing in front of the entire team, just showing highlights of him. And now, granted, we should have paid a little bit more attention to 7, I think, too, because he threw for like 500 yards or whatever. But he was like, this guy disappears out of the hole. It's just, he was a game changer. Fresh out of Michigan State, he was a game changer. I think it's tough, though, to potentially go live that yachts and thought life down in Miami, having a great time, get a bunch of money, and then maybe just want to continue to dive into the work that it takes to be that explosive and elusive. But I don't know him personally. I hope he comes back, but it seems like that might be long ago.
Yeah, I mean, looking back on it, the Steelers kind of thankfully got lucky that he did not accept their $14 million a year offer and then sat out and went to the Jets and stuff like that, because we'd be sitting with that contract.
Yeah, but you don't know how he's playing if he never checks out.
Seems like not great.
And also,
You don't know.
when he was with Pittsburgh, I think it's a massive credit to the line that they had, because they could hold those blocks so that he could dance back there when.
Well, and also, I don't think you had
else.
to. It wasn't just necessarily holding blocks; it was them finding blocks.
Yeah.
And he was able to somehow wait for the block to be
Set
made.
them up. He set them up so beautifully. I played against the dude, like that little stutter. You've seen other guys try that. To have the confidence and the patience to do it, it's something not a lot of people can do.
You know what it's like? It's like a kick returner. So a kick returner, if you ever see a kick returner, you get the ball, you'll see them run this way, and that's because everybody covering has to then start breaking towards them, which is automatically setting up the return team to get good leverage on them because they're already going that way, and then you cut it back the other way, you're just setting up your block. And the returner is told to find an ass. Just whatever ass you see, find it, because that's your guy, obviously, in between the other guy and you. Le'Veon was like a returner playing running back, and anytime he got it, it could have broke. He was awesome to watch, man. If we don't get to see Le'Veon Bell be great again, I want to thank Lev Bell for his contribution to sport. It was a lot of fun there, and also his raps are incredible. Let's go to Steven in Massachusetts. What's going on, Steven?
Hey, Pat, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Yeah, just hanging out, Steve. I feel a little bad about Johnny earlier, but I can't fucking have it. All right? As if we meant to do it. It's not like we're talking via phone. This is the oldest form of communication at this point. Some things could get lost in translation, especially when you're talking to TikTok star at Money Mitt back there with a broken phone. So we apologize to Johnny. Call back in. We'll put Jonathan on there, of course. Steven, what do you want to talk about?
Don't worry, Pat. I think Johnny's a stooge, so you should be all set with that. But Hell in a Cell, man. I know you talked about it earlier about how wrestling fans that they could be critical and stuff like that. I think for the most part, like when there's like new people on, it's been like a lot of like outsiders that came in and they didn't really like take it seriously. But with you, like when you go on there and you're doing like the commentary and everything, you can tell that you're just like so like energetic. Because I listen to the show and I try to watch like every once in a while, and you're always like hyped up and stuff like that. So when you're on there like commentating, like you know that it's not like you're trying to like put on a persona that of just like what you
It's
are.
like people like Romo.
Just
He's
about
excited
it.
about the game.
You're just about it.
Thank you, Steven. That means a lot. And listen, Tony Romo, I heard he's golfing 10 hours a day. That is your words, not mine. That is what you used against me for me potentially wasting my life and never getting 20 million. These are your words, not mine. I enjoy watching wrestling, though. Always have. I'm very lucky that I happen to be a pretty good orator, but I also enjoy the product and know the product. So I'm just a fan that happens to know a little bit more. I've main evented a pay-per-view. I've been in a cage match. I've done that whole thing. But also, I'm still a fan, so I enjoy the hell out of it, man. I'm just having a blast out there. I get lost in the show, obviously. I make so many fucking mistakes.
I mean, like the pencil flip stuff, too.
Hey,
that
nailed
stuff
it.
that stuff
was
that
awesome.
just can't be remade.
Shout out Mr. Perfect, by the way. You're the absolute man. Did not know I was doing that. His talk was going a lot longer than I thought it was going to be, and I was just going to be sitting on the just doing nothing. So I was like, I'm not just going to sit here for his entire thing. I'm going to loosen the arm up a little bit. Actually open the arm because that suit was a little tight. You know what I mean? I've been boxing, so you know what I mean?
True.
So then I did the whole thing. I caught it, very lucky. I thought I was going to drop it. It was quite a moment. I loved it last night. The Phoenix Suns have put out a statement about all the ass beating that have been happening at games. First, it was the Nuggets in town. 2 of them ate a couple rights from Suns and 4 guy. Then a couple Clippers fans got their asses beat after starting fights in the Phoenix Suns arena. The Phoenix Suns are enjoying a deep run in the NBA postseason. And while the intensity on the court continues to heat up, we still expect Suns fans to keep their cool off the court. We will not tolerate the violence that erupted following Sunday's game at Phoenix Suns Arena. We consider Suns fans to be the best in the world. Fighting or taunting to incite violence is not reflective of our organization or how fans from across the valley should be represented. We're better than that. Let's work together to provide a model fan experience that is fun, enthusiastic, and respectful. Go Suns. I appreciate the Suns putting out that statement to cover their ass so they don't have to cover all these lawsuits that are potentially happening in their arena. But I want to let you know, you're not better than that. If your fans are just beating the fuck out of everybody, that's a good thing to have. Incredible. If Clippers fans want to go in there and act a fool and start fights and get knocked out, that's on Clippers fans. If the Nuggets fans want to go in there and try to blindside a guy who I think had a beautiful mullet and a pretty good uppercut, like, hey, they got to get that sometimes. We're coming out of COVID. A lot of pent-up energy, a lot of people thinking they're a lot tougher than they are. If Suns fans are going to humble people in the crowd while their team is humbling the team on the court, that's unison, baby. But I can understand how you don't want to catch those lawsuits, Phoenix Suns. And if you just don't fight. Hey, you don't want no shit, there won't be no shit, I think is kind of the statement that should be made here, AJ. Your thoughts?
I think this is the greatest free PR that the Phoenix Suns have. Like, people are talking about the Suns not only because of what they're doing on the court, but off the court, man. So, yeah, create a scary environment, too, for opposing teams to come in and play now. Not just now, but years down the road. Hopefully they keep this grit up.
The black hole, obviously, that's a place where you don't go into. Now, Phoenix doesn't want to be known as that, I guess. Like, hey, you come to a game, you get your ass beat. But legit, if you go into Philadelphia and you start talking about somebody in there, there's a chance you're going to eat a right. You want your fans to be passionate. And if some asshole from the other team wants to come in and start disrespecting us in our house, sometimes you got to get smacked in the mouth. The Suns don't want that. I understand for the lawsuits, but I want to let you know, if I'm part of that fan base, I'm pretty proud of what we put on tape thus far.
Come get it.
You come into our house, you're going to fucking get it. Chris Mad Dog Russo of Mad Dog Unleashed is on the other side of this break. We'll be back, Mignogna, with hopefully a better show. Probably not, though. See you then. There we go. I like that, though. I like that they're just beating the shit out. If they were starting the fights, I'd have a problem with it.
Well, I think the only reason they did this one too, at least from the video, the guy from the Clippers threw the punch first, but you could tell the Suns fans were definitely inciting. It's almost like trying to get this guy to do something.
You saw what happened to the Nuggets guy.
Yeah, right.
He ain't the only one. We got an entire section filled with right hands around here.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Also, if you don't want to promote it, don't get the Suns and 4 guy, tickets and also give them a stand
That's why they're doing the, because Devin Booker offered tickets, so now the Suns have to come out and say, whoa, that wasn't, whoa. People are getting their fucking asses beat on property that we own, so we gotta remember this.
That guy definitely, though, was just, hey, someone else started it, I'm gonna finish it.
Suns and 4 or this?
Suns and 4 guy.
Yeah, Suns and 4 guy, I mean, the model of don't talk no shit, there won't be no shit.
Right. What happened it happened organically, and now they're probably worried about people that want to become famous and go viral like him.
Well, the Clippers
fans
fans
create those moments.
Clippers fans, though, potentially also wanted, you know what I mean? So
True.
it's like
it's a tough balance.
Catch-22.
But I'd always thought the rules were, like, for instance, I got into a fight one time in my living room in college because we had a party. Somebody walked in my living room. I was sitting on the stairs. Push. He asked where the keg was. He said, "Is the keg here?" This guy, never heard of him, but we had pretty much an open house at this point. "Is the keg here?" We're like, "Yeah, man, it's over there." "Where's it at?" And I was sitting on the stairs with another guy on the team. And I was like, "It's in the kitchen or whatever, man, And he goes, "Get out of my way." And it was like, that's our upstairs. That's where my roommate's rooms were or whatever. We're like, "Yo, the keg is there. We're not carrying the keg upstairs, dude. It's right over there." He pushes one of my teammates, pushes me in my own living room. Okay, so in my head, I'm like, "Oh, I think I'm allowed to fight this guy." So I do. Bang, pow, movie, out the front door. He, on the way out, obviously gives a, "That's on me," walks away.
Oh, okay.
It was fucking awesome. It was one of the coolest things I've ever been a part of in my life. But if you're a Suns fan, that's how you feel. Hey, this is our house, dude. You're going to come in here and start doing shit to us. You can catch it right now. That's the way this thing can go. That's sports. That's competition, especially in the world that we're in right now where everybody has pent-up frustration, it feels like.
Hey, do you think that carries over to the court where the players are like, "Hey, man, you're not coming here and punking us. Like, we're going to be like the old school Pistons back with Bill Laimbeer."
Hey, that's awesome. if you're on a team, by the way, that's the way you want your fans to be. I'm not. I assume there's a lot of nerds that maybe don't like. Let's have a little class. I'm not that way. I would like our.
I don't think there's many people that would, I guess, say like, hey, what the Suns and 4 guy. I would think everybody's kind of on board with that.
Yeah, we want this guy on our, because whenever you go into a place that's like that, it's a full experience. You're preparing for it. It's like, hey, this place is going to be wild. Okay, some of our fans are going to be casualties up there in the stands. All right, we got to fight for them on the court, for us, and for everything that's about to happen. This is not going to be an easy place to play, though. Like I like that. I think that's how every sport team should be. I guess you can't just be walking around knocking everybody out that's wearing another jersey, but I mean, if they're starting fights. I mean, that's on them, dude. This is, hey, you will get punched in the fucking. Not everybody's about your shit, dude. Not everybody's about it.
Well, and the players probably, they want to win no matter what. But when you see a guy yell Suns and 4 as he's beating the fuck out of a Denver Nuggets fan, it's like, hey, we got to do this for the Suns guy because he's out there for us.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, Chris Paul, who's never won a championship, has this young team that's unbelievable. Devin Booker's for the Suns and 4 guy.
Profit foretold.
That's right. That'd be awesome, too. What if they come out and say, if it wasn't for that guy beating the fuck out of 2 Nuggets players, we don't win this championship.
Yeah.
All those hours we spent in gyms shooting and everything like that, if it wasn't for this guy with his beautiful rabbit uppercuts, we would have never won. So shout out to him. I mean, I just like the environment to be a little bit of like, hey, when you come in here, don't be fucking around.
Head on a swivel.
Because when you walk into a place and the away team debos the home fans, it's like, okay, it tells me a lot about this team, Like that tells me. Think about that Chargers MLS stadium they were in, where the other team was 95% of it or whatever. It's like, oh, that's tough for the Chargers or whatever. At Phoenix, when you walk in that Suns game right now, you're like, all right, listen, this crowd, hey, I gotta watch myself in here. And that type of stuff. We must protect this house. I'm a big fan of it.
Well, and to your point too, if you go into like something like that and you're wearing like the other team's like uniform, like you know what to expect. You know what kind of implications are there. So if you're acting obnoxious and being an asshole, like, hey, guess what? Something's probably about to pop off.
You're a heel.
Yeah.
And you know it. And if you're drinking and doing your whole thing, I mean,
there's a chance.
There's a chance. All right, last sentence here. Last part of the sentence here. We've put out the first one. The last one is about to pop up over AJ's head. There it is. Fill in the blank. Okay? The first 2 sentences. The first part of the sentence, the second part of the sentence, and this is the last part. When AJ Hawk talks about, insert the word there. Okay? We have a word that we believe, a thing that we believe is the right answer. For us, we had taken a poll. If you can guess what it is that's in that blank with the first part of the sentence that aired earlier, the second part of the sentence directly after it, then this part of the sentence with the fill in the blank word, first, hashtag PMS 100K giveaway week with this sentence with the right answer there. You can win $25,000 in a golf.
Wow! Let's go!
I think you know what the answer is. AJ doesn't even know what the answer is because this is our best day of the week.
I don't know what the first 2 questions are. The first 2 sentences.
Okay, so we can run those back real quick if we really want to. So the first one, AJ, if you're watching along at home right now, here's a quick little, the best day. Okay, have to type this out. The best day in your tweet of the week is. Then the last one, go ahead. When AJ Hawk talks about, I think it's supposed to be, go back to those sentences there. Let's go all the way back. The best day of the week is when AJ Hawk talks about, it is right.
Here we go.
Hey, good work back there, Zito.
Had a baby Z.
Hashtag PMS 100K giveaway week. Put the hashtag in there, put the full sentence in there, and guess what you think the fill in the blank word is. And you can win $25,000 today and a golf cart tomorrow. Another massive giveaway with some more stuff. I believe it's Amazon Prime Day tomorrow, so look for maybe 4 or 5 TVs tomorrow and some cash.
Okay.
Be a friend, tell a friend, watch along live. We're off starting Friday, then all of next week. Then we're back, and football season is around the corner.
Yes.
AJ, it's been fantastic getting to hang out with you again, although you tried to take us off the rails there for a little bit about Chet Hanks, Mark Schlereth, Andrew Brandt, all the boys, everybody that watched at home. Thank you all so much. AJ, any final thoughts here on this beautiful Monday?
There's no right answer though for this question.
There is.
Yeah.
Do you guys have it documented somewhere to show them?
Yeah.
That's right.
With the newspaper too.
Okay, I have no idea what the. I'm curious. I'm excited to see what the answer is.
Oh, with the newspaper, so it's the day of the week.
Nice.
When do we find out? When do we find out who wins?
We didn't do the newspaper. Probably tonight. Get happy tonight. Maybe tomorrow. Has to be before the next one starts at least, because it'll be the same hashtag.
Right.
Hashtag PMS 100K giveaway week. AJ, wait till you hear what the answer is. You're gonna love it. What we voted over here.
Okay. I'll see if I agree with you or not.
Well, it doesn't matter if you do. We're talking about our.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Go back to the beginning. Go back to the beginning of that thing.
It's an opinion.
Yeah, it's our opinion though.
Yeah. Fool.
The best day of the week is when AJ Hawk talks about.
Fill in the blank.
Take your shot.
Is the right answer? Is it a one-word answer?
Oh, great question. No tips allowed. I do believe, it is one word. Answer as many times as you'd like. We can't wait to give it away. Shout out to CFO Phil. He just found out we're giving away $100,000 in the next 4 days. You're going to do great, Phil. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Phil. Big thanks to Manscaped. Big thanks to Canadips for being official sponsor of the After Hours program here on YouTube.com / The Pat McAfee Show from the hills of Humboldt County. If you didn't hear the news last week, the boys at Canadips dropped the legendary Trainwreck Strain Can, which packs sweet and spicy and hints of pine all into one. Head to CanadipsCBD.com and use promo code LIPBOOMERS for 20% off and grab one of the remaining 500 limited edition cans that everybody is trying to get their hands upon.
Okay.
Canadips just keeps dropping new flavors and revolutionizing dip from Northern California. Why would anyone dip tobacco anymore?
It's a good question.
I don't know. Tobacco's got a bunch of bullshit in it. We all know. We've learned about it for years and years and years. You might be addicted to the nicotine. You are. You might be addicted to the habit. You are. You might be addicted to the carcinogens in there as well. This is a tobacco-free dip alternative that has CBD inside of it, that has the same texture and spit as most tobacco pouches.
Bingo.
Ty's been chewing since he was 12 in Iowa.
Long time.
These things are, there's a lot of other alternatives. These particular type are the type that make
Feels like the real thing, yeah.
Last chance to enter for Croptober, actually, by the way. CanadipsCBD.com /Croptober ends last day of June, where you will win an all-access pass for you and +1. Flights, hotels, unlimited cannabis. Act fast and tell your friends. Get out to Croptober. This is a once-in-a-lifetime type trip for anybody that lives outside of the dope-growing states.
Mm-hmm.
Go to CanadipsCBD.com /Croptober. You could potentially take a +1 with free flights, hotel, and dope to go see 20-foot tall cannabis. Wow. I don't know what I do. I don't know if you can get me out there, pal. I might be... Oh boy.
Guess I'm never leaving.
I'm bringing a chainsaw. I just gotten all these things down. What a time. I can't believe they're doing that. CanadipsCBD.com /Croptober. And if you want to get into the dip alternative, please go to CanadipsCBD.com and use promo code LIPBOOMERS for 20% off and grab one of the remaining limited cans. Shout out to Humboldt County and Canadips. 20% off, CanadipsCBD.com.
Shout out.
Favorite part of the day, Tone? What are you guys going to bet on here at 4 o'clock? Anything good?
There's a full baseball slate tonight. No NBA because the scheduling they fucked up completely, and a little bit of NHL, and there's Euros going on.
Is Chris Paul back? We don't know.
They haven't really said anything.
They shouldn't have started that series.
Yeah, there was no need to play that game on Sunday. Clippers finished Game 7.
Hey, by the way, Kevin Durant.
Yes.
I mean, great defense by Drew Holiday. Great defense, but Kevin Durant may be my favorite person in the NBA at this point. Just the way he handled it all, too. You know what I mean? With everything that happened. He was an absolute savage out there. I love Kevin Durant. That team has spent a lot of money on trying to win a championship, and they didn't do it. Are we wrong for just assuming if you spend the most amount of money, you win? I'm going to say no, okay? But it does appear as if that is the case this year in the NBA. Will the Atlanta Hawks go on a run? Will the Atlanta Hawks be able to win this thing? Or is Giannis, PJ Tucker, Drew Holiday, and the guy that looks like an insurance salesman coaching them going to go on this run to the top? We shall see. I want to talk about 76ers Ben Simmons, though, real quick, because this was obviously the story out of basketball this weekend, was this guy who makes $34 million or something like that, playing basketball, who can't shoot of basketball. This poor guy, I couldn't even fathom the mental battle that's going on. In the fourth quarter of a deciding game, down 2, he gets a wide open look. And out of complete fear of having to potentially get fouled and go to the foul line, decides to give away a wide open look that all of us who have ever played basketball have been making literally since toddlers. He passes it off because he's so scared and his confidence is so goddamn broken. At this point, I don't know why he's not doing the granny shot or whatever the case, but whenever you see something like this, I know a lot of people are burying him, saying you can't have it, can't win. Doc Rivers came out and said, I'm not sure if he's a guard for a championship team or not. Shaquille O'Neal said, I'd knock his ass out if he did this type of thing, even though he shot bad on free at the foul line, just like Shaq did. Him not being aggressive or whatever pissed off a lot of people because he's supposed to be the star of the show. I just want to let everybody know, I think this guy's potentially going through some real shit right now. If he's passing on a layup because he is so shook by everything going on at the foul line, I would assume these comments from his coach, from legend OG Shaq, let alone everybody on the internet calling for faults over him and saying he's not going to be in Philadelphia anymore. This is a Carson Wentz situation. He's broke. I hope whatever this guy's going through, he figures out. I hope he gets back on the horse and plays. But God damn it, you got to learn how to fucking shoot, guy. And this wouldn't be a problem at all. But this is a sad situation. I'm worried about this guy for real. The first thing I thought of whenever I saw that was like, oh, that guy's broken. He is so scared of everything right now. Then he just got buried. They'd lose. It's just like, oh, fuck. Embiid didn't have a great game. That Sixers team starting to look like the Eagles all of a sudden. What if this is the end of a good run for them? That's a shame.
The thing is, like, Ben Simmons is, I'm not going to say he's as athletic as Giannis, but he's also 6'10 and is a point guard. And he's one of the best defenders in the league. And, like, Giannis will go to the line and he'll airball it. But then, like, the next series down, he doesn't give a shit. He's going right to the rack again. Like, it's a mindset thing, right?
Yeah, he's broken. Yeah. This is the confidence thing. And I'm worried about him. To be honest, I'm legitimately
get him out of town.
Dwight Howard went on his IG Live. This was not even last night. This was earlier in the series. He's like, hey, you guys need to lay off Ben Simmons.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if he's shook that much that he won't even take a layup because he's so scared that he's going to fuck over his team, the guy won't take a shot in the fourth quarter because I assume he feels so bad to his team. He doesn't want to be the one who yet again has to miss something. It's like, I don't know how you get that out of you. I hope he's got to go see a sports psychologist, hopefully, maybe get hypnotized, unbreak that thing, or maybe just get out of Philadelphia. But I'm pulling for him. That did not look like a lot of fun for that guy on a daily basis when I seen that.
Well, especially when the rumors before the season and during the season too was like, hey, Ben Simmons for James Harden, let's do it. And then they don't end up doing it. And obviously Harden got hurt, so who knows? But shit, you probably rather have James Harden, who's hitting step-back threes routinely, than Simmons.
Well, he didn't in the playoffs, and that was actually a problem because his hamstring potentially affected that. But James Harden's still drawing fouls. The thing about Ben is, if he doesn't, like, everybody says money, he can't lack confidence. He's rich or whatever. It's like, he could be even more alone. When the money gets on the line and everything like that, he feels like he's probably letting down everybody. I assume that is a tough spot to be in right now for Ben. And I'm not a Sixers fan, but in Philadelphia, if you fuck up, they're going to let you hear about it, which, by the way, is a beautiful part of Philadelphia sports. But I'm assuming Ben wants to disappear for a little bit, I'd imagine, if I was him.
It's got to be horrendous for him. Then to throw in what he got beat by his rival who's going out with his old girl, right? Like, is he still with the Kardashian?
Booker.
Devin Booker,
other
different.
side. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I know. Is he still going out with Kylie or whoever?
I believe he's still, Devin Booker, who is Stephen A. Smith called the next Kobe Bryant, is dating a Kardashian. And
He used to date a Kardashian as well, Kendall.
What's that?
He used to date a Kardashian as well.
Ben Simmons?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
But yeah.
Okay, cool. I wouldn't be surprised Kris Jenner didn't put Devin Booker on the foul line and get him set up with some coaches as soon as he started dating one of her daughters and said, listen, you got to get better. Okay, we did this whole thing earlier before with another guy. Okay, he wasn't that great.
Chris Humphries.
You need to become the guy. And the bubble was great, but we need to lock you in this Kardashian cave here, and you need to become the best basketball player on earth. And Book was like, bet, sounds good, let's do it. What an unbelievable rise to superstardom by that guy. But they were not playing against each other. They lost to Trae Young, different animal, different division.
But what is I'm telling, like, with Simmons, for some reason, it seems like everyone's piling on. I saw Shaq say what he would do to him. But the only way to even come out of this is, even if he comes out next year, let's say he wins the MVP in the regular season, if he doesn't perform in the playoffs, he still has this hanging over him. Now, it could be an awesome comeback story, don't you think? Like if he stays in Philly, works through all this, gets a championship, it could turn into a great story, a great movie, but man, that's a tough hill to climb.
You know what? Get him out of there.
Yeah, he needs to go.
Has to.
Get him down to the Pelicans.
Oh.
Okay. Get him down there. All right? Get him back down there where he's at LSU.
Now we're talking.
Okay? Get him back home. Get him shooting granny style.
Yes.
Let him know, hey, pass all the fuck you want. We got a guy that can dunk from the three-point line, Zion. Do what you got to do. Build him up. But I feel bad for that guy. I hope he gets. Listen, he's very rich, so I guess you shouldn't feel bad for him. Okay, that has allowed him a lot of freedoms. I'm assuming he is living a very comfortable life whenever it comes to like objects and things like that. But that does not mean that you do not have to go through a complete battle and lack of confidence that potentially comes when you feel like you've let down everybody in your life, which I think Ben Simmons feels like right now. And I don't think it's going to get any quieter until that motherfucker can make a free throw.
Hey, and shout out on the other side, coming off an Achilles injury, played every single minute of every single game the last 2 or 3 games. KD, not sitting out the Olympics to promote a movie. He's going to go represent his country.
And him and James Harden,
Yeah.
by the way, have come out and said that they will play. I wonder if that's because LeBron's going to be dealing with the goon squad.
Yeah.
KD and Harden were like, all right, we can go play. We'll go play.
We
then.
got this.
We'll go. This will be our team. We'll have a good time. We'll maybe recruit some more people to the Nets, tell them to pay their teams to get the fuck out of their contracts. Let's go ahead and do this thing. I can't wait to see KD play some more basketball. Congrats to the Bucks on getting a big win. Congrats to the, Atlanta Hawks getting a win. The Suns getting a win. And here we go. I don't know who the fuck's going to win it all. I don't really care, but we will cover the big talking points. Chris Paul, potentially he's getting out of COVID soon, too. We got a whole new series. People are getting knocked out. Sports are happening. 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, youtube.com/Hammer Don. Enter in hashtag PMS 100K giveaway week on Twitter. Put the sentence together. Fill in the blank. If you get it right first, you'll win $25,000. If you get it right second, you'll win a golf cart. I think.
Not bad.
That will ship to you. Can't thank you enough. More giveaways tomorrow. More bullshit tomorrow. Be a friend. Tell a friend. We'll see you then. You're the best. Cheers.